Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. Happy Friday Eve. Stiles and Watkins on a Thursday. Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a movie. Warriors come out to play. Kings take on the Warriors. They head to the Bay. Chris Watkins will be headed to the Bay to see the game. You excited for that?
Yeah, I'm hoping we should be able to make in time. Right? We get out of here at 2:00.
You're going against traffic.
That's true.
You're going against traffic, and then by the time the game is over, traffic coming back up. Traffic coming up won't be bad,
right?
But it's still a trek. So you're in for a long one. I mean, I'm in for a long one. I'm not. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out my travel plans for the NFC Championship because
I'm concerned for you.
I don't really want to take the car because I don't really want my wife to not have a car all day.
Yeah,
so I got to ride there. I'm just trying to figure out how to get
hitchhike.
Back. You know, hey, caravan, something like that. Casual. I think we talked about on the show that you hadn't heard of casual carpool.
No, yeah.
So casual. Is there any casual carpooling going to the game? Please holler at your bizzle, holler at your boy.
This sounds very Bay Area.
Casual carpool, It was. So casual carpool, if you didn't live in the city, this is all pre-pandemic. It's probably back now. But casual carpool, you would, I guess there were Facebook groups or whatever, and you would just hear by word of mouth. Hey, most of the time you would meet at a BART station.
Okay.
So you would meet at West Oakland BART.
Sure.
In the designated area, be like, hey,
someone
casual
safe
carpool.
in public.
I mean, luckily you're not alone. So
right.
It's you, somebody driving. They get to go in the carpool lane. They were going to drive anyway.
Right.
And then it's a full car, so it's the 5 of you in a car.
Wow.
You drive, and then they drop you off. They drop pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
They drop you off in the designated area. Then from there, you take Muni or whatever.
Okay.
And then if you feel so inclined, you send them $5 for gas or whatever. If you don't have to.
I don't like that second part. No, I think you should have to at least contribute something. Like, I understand
they're getting the carpool.
They're
they're getting the carpool out of it. You can. I did it a couple times. So any
sounds like something you got to be in the area.
Chris doesn't want a casual carpool to the.
No, I get upset when because Uber has like a carpool option.
No, I've never done that.
I hate that. I didn't do it. Last time I did it was in Vegas, and it's just super awkward.
I'm not
it's like,
doing that.
Hey, do you mind we have to go pick up somebody, or do you mind that we drop them off first? And I'm like, yes,
yeah, I do. I've been in here.
Yeah.
For 20 minutes, you dropped off 2 people that you picked up after me. All right.
I'm also not trying to host as the driver too.
Yeah.
Be like, "What's up, everyone? Are we here?
But you don't have to. Right, and then it's like, do you play music?
Yeah.
You guys want to what's your morning vibe?
Yeah.
People
don't
are like,
talk to me.
Bringing coffee.
I got some McMuffins. Hey, can you not eat in my car?
Right.
Make sure to give me $5 at the end.
Yeah. Shout out casual carpool. But anybody casual carpooling back from the Niner game, holler at your boy as we get into, honestly, man, the coaching carousel. Not just, it's normally supposed to be just the NFL right now, also the NBA with the Wizards. You got elevated. This happened at my tech job. Somebody, they lost their role, but they got a different role within the company. Yeah. And it was like, are you good? Is this a promotion? What is it?
Yeah.
So that's happening in Wizards land as they move away from their head coach, but he moves, and the same thing happened with Brad Stevens, right?
Yeah, same thing happened with Alvin Gentry, too.
You move to the front office. So this is from Woj. The Washington Wizards are promoting top assistant Brian Keefe to interim head coach for the rest of the season. Sources tell ESPN he will replace Wes Unseld Jr., who will move into a front office role. Is that what are we calling that?
Yeah, it's I guess they'll frame it as a promotion, but from what I understand, they really like Wes Unseld, the guy, but I think that they realize that if he's going to continue to be the coach, he's probably just going to continue to stack up losses, and it's going to be tough to keep him past being a head coach. So if I had to guess, this is their way of keeping the person, but not and but also firing him at the same time. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. But again, I would just say they did the same exact thing with Alvin Gentry here in Sacramento, and Alvin is still incredibly. I mean, Alvin's probably the guy that I see more than anybody else. I mean, I see Alvin more than I see Wes Wilcox or Monty McNair. So wouldn't surprise me if Wes Unseld kind of falls into a similar role where he's almost like the team ambassador.
Right. Well, and it also depends where you are in your career, right? Alvin Gentry had coached for years, and maybe he felt, I'm actually cool, right? If you weren't in that position, like to me, Brad Stevens, that was the heist of the century, because they overproduced when they were shorthanded and underperformed when they were at full strength, and they said, we'll just send you up here, right? And all of a sudden, Brad Stevens is in a great position, and they still don't have a championship, right? So the Celtics, in the curious case of the coaches that they have had, that is something else. But shout out to the Wizards and whatever they're trying to do. We have more news.
To the Wizards.
We have more news on the Wizards. Actually, not shout out to the Wizards, as they are now saying that Kuzma is off the tape. They have no clue what they want to do. None of these teams do, the sellers or the buyers. And this is from Sam Amico, not Sam Amick. Wizards not inclined to trade Kyle Kuzma. Now, yesterday when we played the Athletic podcast with Sam Amick, there was a note in there.
Right, from David Aldridge.
From David Aldridge that said they'd be looking for something similar to the Pascal Siakam deal. And we have more. We have something else. Something else came out on Caruso and his price tag. It's just it's absurd now.
Yeah. It's getting ridiculous.
It's getting ridiculous, okay? Like we said, if the Niners win, we get to go to Vegas. Whatever you imagine, the difference between a hotel price in Vegas right now as of 10:08 a.m. and 10:08 a.m. Saturday morning, that upcharge, okay? It's busy when it says that on Uber.
Yes.
That's what's happening in the NBA right now. It's busy. You have a 90% increase.
Yeah.
So instead of it being $12, it's $44 to go down the street.
It's nuts. I mean, shout out Alex Caruso. Wow, way too many shout outs already in the first segment. But
no, we got to get him going.
I guess. Alex Caruso is a fine player. I was hearing this morning that, he's really the guy who's almost separate in that Chicago situation. That DeRozan's contract's up at the end of this year. Levine's been put in every trade rumor, even Vucevic's guy that they're looking to move. And from what I understand, Caruso's the one they're expecting to get the biggest haul from. That's the guy where, they're going to probably have to send maybe even a first-round pick to get off of Levine. And DeRozan, with him being expiring, you're probably not going to get a ton in return. The Bulls are looking at Caruso as the guy who's going to replenish their stock for building in the future. And so it's tough. Maybe I think they asked Sam Amick this morning on the morning show if there's a possibility that, hey, maybe if you do the deal with Levine, could Caruso be a throw-in to try and, instead of the Bulls getting rid of a first-round pick, just throw in Caruso? And Sam seemed a little bit hesitant to say that that's really even a possibility. So it seems like they are dead set on Alex Caruso getting them a big return, and that's really bad news for the Kings.
It's all bad.
You can't ship off 2 first-round picks for Alex Caruso.
No, you can't do. And nobody's. I guess I wouldn't say nobody, but you wouldn't think.
It's a tough sell.
I am so excited. And look, if the Niners win, we will be in Vegas for the trade deadline. So a lot of moving and grooving going on. I am really excited to see what happens because something's got to give.
It's got to.
Right? The sellers are not moving, and the buyers are saying, your price too high, man. I'm not taking it. It just reminds me of a big episode of Shark Tank. That's what it is. Also, in the coaching carousel, it finally happened. Okay. Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers.
That's right.
And I know the Raiders got Antonio Pierce. I'm going to tell you what, the Chiefs, they have another opportunity to win a Super Bowl. We'll see if they can get past Lamar, right? You still have the best quarterback in the league. Some people think he's the future GOAT, right? But you don't want to play no games with Jim Harbaugh because Jim Harbaugh with Justin Herbert doesn't strike me as a guy who is very rah-rah. He's got a very cool, calm demeanor. Definitely. But I think all these guys have some sort of ego. And I'm sure Justin Herbert's been hearing a lot of, this guy's not a winner, right? He's got all the tools, but when is he going to put it together? You put that guy in the hands of a Jim Harbaugh who has just done well and just succeeded at every level, right? He's been to the Super Bowl. He didn't win, but he's been to a Super Bowl. I think it could get real dangerous.
Yeah, I do too.
And look, Denver, I think it's going to be outstanding television with the Broncos and that whole situation. I don't know what Denver's planning
They don't
to
either.
do.
They don't either.
They could easily be.
I've heard Russ is gone. I've heard Russ is coming back.
You heard Russ is coming back.
I have heard that it is not out of the question that Russell Wilson is coming back next year.
Over under any beef that happens between Jim Harbaugh, because when they were saying Jim Harbaugh got hired, they showed the clip of him
Schwartz,
the last
right?
time. Yeah, with Jim Schwartz, when he just daps him up.
Give me your hand.
Give me your hand, and just pushes him out of the way. There's definitely going to be something.
Get over here.
He goes scorpion on him with Sean Payton, and it's going to be absolute cinema.
So
and then you have Antonio Pierce in the corner just yelling Raiders just over and over, and you have Andy Reid, who's just Andy Reid. So the AFC West is going to be incredibly entertaining, and if Jim Harbaugh is able to turn that thing around, which I'm assuming he is, it's always good to have another good team. And Chris, not to come down your road, this is why you keep a team in Los Angeles, just in case. Because if you hit, because this is the team that has the 25th. Yeah, they were 25 when it comes to their net worth, right? Or worth as far as being a franchise. We'll see what happens by the time Jim Harbaugh's tenure is over. And I'm not. I still agree with you. I love for some of these other markets, not even smaller, just other markets to have teams. Right. But it's New York, it's LA, and you hope to hit and you hope to figure these things out. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we've had some great conversations this week about media and players, and another part of this is the fans. But we're taking this to a different dynamic where Luka Doncic gets a fan kicked out. He claims that the media member that posted on why the fan got kicked out has it out for him. And also, it's just a matter of what is that line when it comes to being able to say things to fans and the age-old comparisons of you wouldn't do that to somebody working on the street. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Join us for Championship Sunday as the Ravens host the Chiefs at noon and the Lions battle the 49ers at 3:30. The NFC and AFC Championship heard right here on your home for the NFL playoffs at Super Bowl 58, Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call, then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
At Elk Grove Kia, we get it. Life happens. We believe in second chances. Have repos, late payments, or faced bankruptcy? No problem. Our finance department is top-notch and ready to make miracles happen. No need to worry about money down. At Elk Grove Kia, you can drive away today with $0 out of pocket. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance to drive the car of your dreams is just a visit away. Elk Grove Kia, where we turn obstacles into opportunities. Dare to drive differently.
Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Mavs took on the Suns last night, and as you recall, they have a bit of history. Look, we talk a lot about the lack of, who's going to be the next face of the NBA, but I do think that there are some healthy rivalries brewing, specifically. Well, I wouldn't even just say specifically in the Western Conference. Now you have the Pacers and the Celtics, mini rivalries, right? A lot of mini rivalries.
Bucks.
Pacers, Bucks is what I meant to say. And, the Suns Celtics is one of those rivalries. So I'm watching the game yesterday.
Mavericks, I mean.
Suns Mavericks, geez. So, and every time I changed the channel, something chippy happened, unfortunately. So I didn't catch anything. But early on, I turned it on, and I think they were still in the first or maybe early second, and they had already gotten into a scuffle where Grant Williams was involved because he is the self-proclaimed enforcer. He actually ended up getting kicked out because he was mad at what Nurkic did after the scuffle. So, and the game was in Dallas. So basically, there was a screen, and Grant Williams stands over KD. Nurkic was a really healthy push to Grant Williams. Grant Williams does his I'm a big dog thing. That was the first tech. And then Grant Williams is in the post with Nurkic. Nurkic backs him up, and Grant kind of tries to flop. And then after Nurkic scores, he says something over him. Grant Williams gets kicked out. So there was a lot of chippiness going on in the game. Now, Tim McMahon, who does NBA for ESPN and I guess has a history with Luka Doncic, posts a video, and the game was in Dallas, of a Suns fan who basically was
unconfirmed that it's Christopher Laud. I'm telling you, it was Christopher Laud.
That it was Christopher Laud.
Number one Luka hater.
That's
number
right.
one Devin Booker supporter.
That's right. So this is the tweet from Tim McMahon. Luka Doncic asked security to eject this Suns fan who was sitting 2 rows behind mid-cut press row. The comment the fan made that drew Luka's wrath: "Luka, you're tired. Get your bleep on the treadmill." And it's not but. It's the 3-letter word for but, right? Which I don't necessarily, sure, that's cursing or whatever. So that's Luka, it's light work, if that's it. Yeah. Now, it wasn't just Tim McMahon reporting this. Other reporters said the same thing, because I guess based on where they were all sitting, they could hear.
Yeah, it must be nice. That's
this
crazy.
was, yes.
They're sitting like courtside.
I know.
Like,
there's levels to this.
Yeah,
there's
definitely levels to it for sure.
This is Luka in the post game when I believe Tim McMahon asked him about the situation, and Luka responds.
But I knew you would be the first one to point out something.
What else did he say?
I'm not going to say what he said, but I knew you would be the first one to put out something like that. So I just thought, man, it's just funny. You always seem to be the first one to put some bad stuff about me.
Okay, first of all, 99% of the stuff I've written about you has been good.
Ah,
Second of all, the guy was sitting 2 rows behind us.
All right, so it was the only thing that time he said something, the only thing?
That was what you reacted to.
Yeah, I was hearing the whole first half, right?
What
Oh, you didn't hear it?
Well, no, he was definitely hollering all game.
Okay.
You reacted to
But you
him.
put out something that was just the only thing.
Well, what was the
Okay,
final
what-
straw?
what-
What was the
what was the
final?
issue?
What was the thing that
It's not the issue. I'm just saying you seem to be the first one to always put something bad about me.
Look,
I think
never
several
asked
of us
for the
actually
fan to be
tweeted
ejected,
It's
so-
fine. It's all over.
Why did you ask for the fan to be ejected?
Because he was cursing me the whole first half too.
Why didn't you ask for him to be ejected in the first half then?
Because I never would eject a fan. They paid for tickets, but I had enough. It's a little bit of frustration.
You turned your head.
First of all, can I say, and I promise I'll leave it alone because we are moving forward with the whole Mediagate thing here in Sacramento. I've never heard a player get double teamed. Like, I don't even know who the second person
I don't know who
was.
that second person was.
The way Luka Doncic did in at home.
Yeah.
At home. He
Hey,
got
man.
tag
Dude
teamed
faces double teams all day.
even
Okay.
off the court.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
let me just say that I've never, just to put things in perspective, I've never heard Sacramento media go at their star like
That's
that.
a real back and forth.
That's a real deal back and forth. Now, Tim McMahon,
Shout out Tim McMahon for not backing down either.
as I read it, he's not specifically, maybe he's with the Mavericks more, but when you go on his page, it just says NBA for ESPN.
Yeah.
Right. So clearly there is a history there.
Definitely.
And Luka kind of got caught up a little bit. I know he's your guy, but he did get caught up
he
a little
definitely
bit
got caught up.
because he's saying he's chirping him a lot. He's saying, well, I didn't want to kick him out because he paid tickets, but I had enough. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
If you follow the course of the game, the Mavericks started to lose hold of the game.
Yeah, no, they were getting killed by the time he got him kicked out.
So basically, how a lot of people feel is it's not about the fact that he was saying stuff to you. You got him kicked out because he was saying stuff to you, and then you guys were losing,
Yes.
and then you were kind of annoyed.
I think it was like 84 to 100 when he got him kicked out
Yeah.
in like the third quarter.
So when they were winning, everybody tough when they up. That's what Lucas said himself.
Oh, I'm sure. Exactly. Yeah. He was hoping
he was
that
probably
Dallas
enjoying
was
it.
going to win.
Yeah.
And he was going to look at that fan and
Exactly.
say, hey, bro, what happened to all that talking, not talking anymore? And then
Yep.
to your point, goes the other way. And all of a sudden it's like, it's too much.
So from this, right?
Can I defend Luka just once? Just one thing. Just one thing.
Fine.
One thing.
Fine.
It is wild that Tim McMahon is trying to act like he didn't know what he was doing with that tweet.
You just said
But
shout out Tim McMahon for not backing down.
He didn't back down. Shout out for him for saying, hey, no, I reported it for sure. But bruh, come on. Like Luka said, because this is Luka's point. If you listen, he's like, that fool was talking for a quarter or 2.5 quarters before I kicked him out. Why did you put the thing? I mean, it's because
that's
Tim
the
McMahon
one
that
he kicked him out on.
That's fair, but Tim McMahon also knows that that's a very no pun intended here. It's a very heavy criticism of Luka in his career has been his weight, and I think he's very sensitive to that specific subject matter. And so for Tim McMahon to put that out. Read Tim McMahon's tweet one more time.
I hear you.
It's the wording that Tim McMahon uses in that tweet that is very dramatic, and it makes it sound like here's Luka being upset about fat jokes again. He can't handle the fat jokes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he should listen to the fan who told him to get on the treadmill.
Right.
Go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read the words before the quote.
Luka Doncic asked security to eject this Suns fan who is sitting 2 rows behind midcourt press row. The comment the fan made that drew Doncic's wrath?
Drew Doncic's wrath sounds like we're writing like a fairy tale book.
Yes.
Like, what are we
he knew what he was doing.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Could
I
have
think
also,
that's what Luka's mad at.
Yeah, and he could have also said the fan was giving it to him
the fan's been chirping all game. He knew what he was doing. Right, it's a little bit of theater there. Absolutely. I'm still going to say shout out Tim McMahon for not backing down because I think it's easy when you get pressed by, someone who's a multimillionaire and they're really pushing you. Sometimes, gets a little tight.
Face of the league.
You're not supposed to be the story. As a reporter, it's your job to report, not to be a part of the story.
Yeah.
And so I could see a lot of people naturally just kind of being like, "Hey, man, I'm just saying." Whatever.
They both got to wear it.
He really, he went at him.
So. It was a petty off.
Yeah,
they both got to wear it.
Big petty off.
We got to get to a break when we get back. So now the conversation becomes you don't chirp someone working at a restaurant or a job or an office job, whatever. I'm sick of hearing that, and we're going to talk about why. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo, with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and R.C. Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
What is okay, what is not okay to say when you are at a sporting event? It is a conversation that probably won't ever end. And, you know, there are people, what would I call them? Captain Save-A-Players that just always have the players back. And we get it. There's a line. But I also think that some of these comparisons just have never made sense. So we have, I've mentioned this guy before. He does hoops for Hoop Mag. He does NBA Canada, Josh Eberly. And he was kind of going back and forth and had Luka's side in the situation. And then he went to something that we hear quite often. He says, fans aren't participating in the game. It's really a backwards idea that fans who swear at athletes are in the right because that's sports. Nah, you wouldn't say that to an average person on the street or a coworker because there'd be consequences. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. Why do we keep doing this? And I feel conflicted because I don't want to sit here and say, because you get paid a lot of money, people get to curse at you. There is a line, but it's a different line to me than, oh, I'm going to go curse at my coworker. You're paying to go. It's just, there is no comparison, right? If you want to say that you don't think it's cool and that no amount of money should allow someone to be cursed at, fine. Okay. But these comparisons make absolutely no sense, and I wish they would stop.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think it's just trying to relate to the people who don't get it, because I'm personally I have no problem with heckling. I think it's like one of those things where we all know what the line. I don't think we know. There's not a defined line, but it's one of those things that you hear it and you're like, dang, like, right. Let's relax here.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't really know how you can police it correctly, but I think it's more just because there is as there is with everything, there's a subset of fans that ruin it for everybody. Like there are people who just don't know what the line is. And I think it's just trying to get the message through to those people as well as you can. If I had to guess, like, it's just trying to find an example. It's not a perfect one. Like you said, I don't think there is a apples to apples example. I mean, sports are such a unique culture, environment, and like setting. There's not like, you can't even compare it to like going to a theater or something like that. I know when we talked about booing with Kyle last week, we tried, I think we might've said theater. If you go to a movie you don't like, are you okay to boo? There's not really anything that fits the same setting.
The actors wouldn't hear you.
Exactly. Exactly. The actors wouldn't hear you. So it kind of, that's why it's not the same. So I don't know. I mean, I don't believe, I understand why fans will scream and yell and sometimes go over the line. I've never been one of those people, but I think that there is fan rights is what I will say. I think that a lot of times, as there always is, it's just tough to kind of find and to try and police those individual people.
I would say there's a few like lines that you do not cross as a fan. One, racism,
Yes.
which unfortunately we've seen
Right.
a few times and
Right.
they've been kicked out, right?
Every sport too. Yeah.
Bringing up someone's family, there's no need to do that,
right?
And violence against a player.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think those are at least when I'm saying what I just said, that's understood to me.
Yeah.
But if you say,
But
hey,
there's also
Luka, you
gray areas
bleep
in
and
that.
suck.
Like with the family thing, like the Westbrook. Like Westbrook
Right.
says, that's part of my family. That's my family name.
That's going a little far.
But that's his. But now what do you do?
Yeah.
But now what do you do?
Because he's kicked people out of games for calling him
Right.
Westbrook.
Now LeBron never said, hey, don't
think
call
that's
me
right.
LeBrick.
La GM, La Bum,
right.
whatever.
La 5 and 6, right? No, I don't mind being, or he just doesn't care enough. Yeah.
No, I agree, Chris.
No, and I hear what you're saying, Chris, and that's what I'm both Chris's, because that's what I'm saying. If you say to a player, hey, so-and-so, you bleep and suck, right?
Right.
Do I do that? No.
Right.
But to me, that's not crossing the line.
Right.
In my opinion. Now, according to
that's getting close, but it's not like you shouldn't get kicked out for it.
No.
Like morally, is it like, again, that becomes, I think what Josh, right, is trying to say there is very much in the same respect as the golden rule. Don't say something that you wouldn't want someone to say to you. I think what he's more trying to say is don't say something to someone on the court that you wouldn't say to somebody just walking on the street.
But I just disagree.
I just think morally, like if you're trying to find the line, I think that's a good judgment of am I stepping over the line? Because if you say, hey, you're a bum, you're
so you're removing the fact that you pay to go.
I think so, yeah. I mean, just because you pay to go somewhere doesn't necessarily, I mean, sure, you can lighten up some rules, but it doesn't mean that there's not consequences to your actions.
I just don't think but that's what I'm saying.
It's like the freedom of speech thing. It's like you can say whatever you want, but also you have to understand that there's still ramifications to your actions.
Like the bottom line is that's why I kept it to you bleep and suck, because it's in the lines.
Yeah.
It's not about family. It's not about race. It's not about anything like that.
Yeah.
There is
shouldn't get kicked out.
There is a curse word in there, right? To me, the tough part about this is when the reason that these comparisons will never work is because even if we were to say you pay for a service, when we talked with Kyle about booing, right? Hey, I'm going to send this food back if I don't like it.
Right.
There's no rival restaurant to where you're saying, I don't like this restaurant's food, I'm going to boo. There's just no comparison. And also, they get paid, athletes do, because of the insane passion that these fans have.
Absolutely.
So it's just really tough to rein it in, because if you rein it in too much, your dollar bills might go, because it's all connected.
Yeah.
So I'm not okay. I'm not saying it's okay to MF people. I'm not saying that that's cool, but I am saying that there is a line, and if you continue to move in this way that can be viewed as soft, and then run behind the podium and say, well, I'm not going to say what he was saying, people are just going to say, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, for sure. I understand, definitely. I think that, and I think it's tough because you're right. Fans definitely, and fans are, to your point, they're as involved in this entire thing, or as important as just about anybody else. Without them, this thing does not, it's not as big as it is. I mean, obviously the fans are the thing that makes this thing go. And you do want your fans to, you're completely right. Like that passion is what drives this whole machine. If they're not passionate, if they feel whatever, if they feel like, I get mad at the Kings, I can just put them to the side. Well, that's not how this operation works. You need them. You need the frustration to almost strengthen their fandom. And so it's tough, and you can't tell people to an extent, how to act in the arena. It's just, I don't know. I think it's a really tough thing.
It's really tough.
I think the NBA, I mean, there's been tons of instances at Fenway Park, right? With Adam Jones, Andrew Jones,
in the
outfield. Yeah. I mean, there's been issues with it in the past in sports. It's just, I mean, frankly, it's a people issue. It's not even really, I don't think it's a fan issue. I think it's again, specific bad actors who just don't know who the line is. And I think that's true in society as well. There's people who, will take things way past the point in which they need to be reached. And I don't know if there's any way you can fully eliminate that.
Yeah. And also, just as far as getting back to Luka and what was said, that's also the problem in this specific Luka situation, that if he was, and this is what Tim McMahon said, if he was chirping you all game, why didn't you kick him out earlier?
Yeah.
If he was cursing at you all game, why didn't you kick him out earlier? And then athletes, they just have all of the power in the world, which I guess I'm okay with, right?
Yeah.
If you want to just do it at your own, hey, you want to curse at an athlete, do it at your own will, but you could be kicked out if all of a sudden, okay, Luka was cool with it because it was a close game and I'm getting ready to give it back to you, but now the game's gotten out of hand. And actually, I don't want to hear that anymore. That's just a part of being one of the faces of the NBA and being a professional athlete. But I just can't get down with would you say this to someone with an office job? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Do I pay to watch that person push papers? No.
Right. Yeah, and I think that might be where there's also a miscommunication or a disconnect is the fans are thinking, I'm going to see this thing that I'm a part of, and this is like a part of my life. And it's, I am as much of a part of this place as anybody else in here because like you said, I put the money towards it. I support this franchise for X amount of years, put this time towards it. And the players feel like these people are walking into our space and they're not respecting our space. I'm sure the players think of this almost like they're zoo animals. Like you guys are stepping into our habitat here to watch us. And then you're poking us with sticks and throwing things at us, and you're just not really respecting our dojo. I think that's how.
But without us, we don't have a dojo. You don't have a dojo.
No, and but that's the misunderstanding with the media.
Yeah.
I just think that the players in today's era, I think, and maybe rightfully so. I'm sure they definitely would tell you that they're in the right for thinking this way. I just think they kind of view this as their space, and people are stepping into it, and they just feel like they have a bit of entitlement, which I think they do a little bit, but I definitely think it does step over the line when you're kicking people out for saying things that really aren't completely over the top. Again, like the things Chris laid out, all of those are complete understanding of it shouldn't even have to be a player to kick them out. It should be fans around them, security, anybody who hears it, ushers, that should get you kicked out. But it's a slippery slope when the players start to determine, I just didn't like what you said, or, hey, this dude is he might not even be yelling. Is there a difference between yelling or this guy sitting behind the bench and just trash talking me the whole game? It's just a slippery slope when the players start to have complete, no questions asked. He can just get that guy booted. That's
the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they fix, hey, because I don't know if their levels
think you can fix the problem, but how do you fix the solution?
Yeah,
that's the bigger thing.
And I don't know if their levels of throwing out. I would imagine there's throwing out and then there's banned, right?
Of course.
So this guy isn't banned.
I wouldn't imagine.
Now he might not ever. Here's the thing: he might not ever make enough money to sit in those seats again. I don't know.
Right.
And if you wanted to spend it, maybe that's part of it too. You paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. You said what you said, and Luka could hear you. You probably were telling your friends, "I'm going to give it to Luka all day. I'm in their house. I'm the one Suns fan that you don't want to be around, right?" And it costs you, right?
Maybe the move is, hey, if you get any strikes on your record, you can no longer sit in the lower bowl because we can't put you in vicinity of the player's ear. Like maybe that's a better solution. It's not kicking you out of the arena in total. It's just saying we have to put you somewhere where you're not at risk or a threat, if you will, to possibly interrupt the play.
Or you don't have to make this public. We got to get to a break. You don't have to make this public. Maybe it's, hey, Luka, you hold the players accountable. If you ask somebody to get kicked out, we need a record of what they said, because these people did pay money. And maybe once Luka has calmed down, cooled off, right, and the game is now over a day or two later, you just get a call from the league. Hey, did this guy cross? Like, it's all good. No judgment, right? Hey, do you feel like this guy crossed the line? What level should they get
Sure.
moving forward? Now, that guy's experience is still over, but you run that risk if you sit that close and you talk trash, right? I whether I agree with it or not, that's the player's prerogative. And then Luka says, hey, actually, if, it probably wasn't, he didn't cross any of our guideline lines, but I had enough, right? I don't know, but I think there has to be some level because, like we said, even when you do that, that dude may never sit that close again. So you want to sit that close, and the team's other star, you're not going to chirp them. I don't know, but
you can't be trusted.
Those things can happen. All right, get into a break. When we get back, the NFL coaches carousel continues as a couple new head coaches are announced yesterday. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFC Championship game featuring the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday at 3:30 on Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Slayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's time to buck up, Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge of your seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Stop by any participating Save Mart location for a 20% off ticket discount code when you buy Monster Energy.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
From the 916, Allen. Drop off in Stockton and take the Ace train. That's from Steven. But here's the problem, Steven. That's like a smooth 40 minutes from me. So the drop off is the issue there.
Right.
I think Amtrak would make more sense.
It's going to be at night, too.
Right.
I don't know how late the trains run.
But I like the idea, Steven. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about the Ace Train. You ever heard of that?
No.
Nate, you know the Ace Train?
No. My strategy at Levi though involves a car both ways, but we park at this place called the Great Mall.
Oh yeah.
Right, like it's literally you just get on 680 and you take it all the way to the Great Mall, and then you take the
light rail.
Light rail, yeah, right in front of the stadium. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really easy. And because parking's $50.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because media, I think Emil said I have a parking pass, but I don't even know if I want to be a part of that mess.
Why not have a choice?
To be honest,
if I do the Nate,
that's what I did last week. To be honest, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And then the only issue was it was pouring rain when I showed up. Had to go across the parking lot. I only complained because I had my camera stuff, so I was getting a little scared. I had to buy a poncho from a sporting goods place.
Nice.
Wow.
But then the other thing that sucked is the media took a while to come out and give you your passes, and you're just standing in the rain. But it's not going to rain for you, so honestly, wasn't that bad.
Leaving.
Leaving was not. Well, I stayed really late. I was there really.
That's my concern.
I didn't get home till like 1:30
I
in the morning.
can't get out of there early. I either wear it.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I either
you
leave
gotta hang out
or
for
I
a bit.
wear it.
I would sit in the press conference or whatever.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I might as well. Right?
Yeah, because I was watching the traffic still post press conference, post locker room, lines out the parking lot, huge.
Oof.
So,
but wouldn't that be an argument to do light rail?
Well, here's the thing about the light rail is that it still takes a while because that's when I go to games normally, Niners games. I take that light rail, but only so many people fit on the light rail, so you have to wait for each train. You're probably
so this isn't a secret. Everybody's doing
everybody
it.
knows.
Yeah, they're not doing it at that spot necessarily. There's a decent amount, but it's
There's
the
also
best
a
way to
line
save
get in
money.
there.
To save a lot of money and honestly time. It probably takes less time to do that than to wait in the parking lot because that line looked horrible.
All right. Well, keep the ideas coming. Thank you, Steven, as I try to figure out a non-car way, casual carpool.
It's a really expensive Uber. I know people who do that, and shout out to them. I could never. They're like, oh, yeah, I'll just take an Uber down to the bay. And I'm like, you're insane.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think but here's the thing. Santa Clara is the bay, but it's on the other side. It's not San Francisco.
Right. Yes.
You're
going the opposite.
You're
way.
on the opposite
complete
end.
opposite.
So
how is Santa Clara the bay if it's not touching the wall? Like
we're not doing
We're
this
not
right
doing
now.
that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
curious.
too much.
I got ask Brendan. Ask Brendan next time.
Yeah,
you see
right.
him.
That's Brendan's area.
I didn't
actually.
know till a few years ago that Vallejo was part of the bay, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess it
It's like
touches
the
the water.
start, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, trains, planes, and carousels. The coaching carousel for the NFL continues as Jim Harbaugh heads to the Chargers. David Canellis heads to the Panthers, former Bucks OC. Antonio Pierce gets introduced as head coach for the Raiders. And Brian Callahan to the Titans, former Bengals OC. So we're still seeing that trend of the younger offensive coordinators. By the way, just got a text from one of my best buds, says, don't forget to tell the people that Brian Callahan, former De La Salle alum. Shout out to the Sparties out there, De La Salle. And then after that, he went to UCLA. Shout out UCLA. And moved on from that. And he was coaching at Serra in San Mateo, moved his way up the ranks. And he was most recently the offensive coordinator for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. Now he gets an opportunity with the Titans and Mayo Man.
There you go. I'm shocked that Vrabel hasn't found a spot yet.
Me too.
I know, like you said, I know the trend is these young OCs or these young coordinators in general, but you know, there's still something to tried true and someone who's got a history of success. I mean, like I think the fact that Vrabel brought that Titans team. I mean, I think people forget, what was it, 2 years ago? I think they were a 1 seed in the AFC, and they were perennially just a thorn in the side of really every playoff team. It was the team that no one wanted to play in the playoffs because you knew you were going to get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry and just physical football. You know, when the Patriots passed on him, I was pretty shocked. I mean, I guess the Gerard Mayo thing had been set up for a while, but if I'm a coach, like I would have a hard time saying I would rather have Jim Harbaugh over Mike Vrabel, like a dude who's been in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Harbaugh, of course, has had success in the NFL in the past, but I don't. I mean, I think that Harbaugh is going to work out in LA, but I think Vrabel is I mean, I would just take the recent history of, I know this guy can build something. He just did it, instead of Harbaugh, who, has built 2 different programs, but I don't know. I would just trust Vrabel more.
Well, I think that
seems a little bit more in touch too.
Sure, but it's very similar to the backup quarterback that sits for a year, to the Mitchell Trubisky plan, to where you sit for a year behind a really good guy in Josh Allen. All of a sudden, you can't fail if you're not playing.
Right,
and all of a sudden, the Steelers want to take a chance on him, and he had an opportunity to start. Yeah, and Jim Harbaugh, coming off a national championship, everybody picks and chooses when they care about success in college. But for Jim Harbaugh, I think a lot of people feel like the end of the Niners' tenure wasn't really his fault.
No,
right?
It seemed like it was politics.
And we had Asante Cleveland, who kind of talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, really kind words for Harbaugh.
So maybe people feel like, okay, it was his. Let's put it to you like this, though. It was his choice to go back to college. We don't know that.
To an extent, yeah.
We don't know that anybody would have picked him up,
right?
When just NFL, like the Vrabel situation. Totally. And then you have Vrabel, who sat there and had an opportunity for years. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that people love the hot new name.
Almost
and
weirdly, the bigger name
enough, he's got his brother doing well. It's just it's in his blood.
No, right.
And I just think that Vrabel's stock is not as high right now. And
I mean, it's also, he seems to be a little bit more, I mean, he comes from the Patriot way. Like I said, he turned that Titans team into a well-oiled machine. Something tells me Mike Vrabel might be a little bit of a type A person, a little bit more so like Bill Belichick than any other coach.
The Patriot way, is that stock as high as it was?
So that's what I mean, is like, I don't know if he's not the Sean McVay. He doesn't really he doesn't quite give Mike McDaniel vibes, right?
No,
like he's kind of the furthest thing.
He's like stuck between Dan Campbell. Yeah. He's like a more chill Dan Campbell.
Yeah, very much so.
Deal.
Yeah, just like a more relatable Campbell and like Belichick. I mean, he played many years for the Patriots. Like it makes sense why a lot of that DNA seeped into him. But that's a really good point. It's just not really in fashion right now to bring in a guy like Vrabel.
So out of the head coach openings, this is from Adam Schefter, the general managers, Raiders, Tom Telesco, which is an interesting pick, I would say, for the Raiders based on his relationship with Antonio Pierce. Commanders, Adam Peters. Panthers, Dan Morgan. Chargers still don't have a GM. Patriots still don't have a GM. For the head coaches, you have Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, Antonio Pierce with the Raiders, Gerard Mayo with the Patriots, Brian Callahan with the Titans, Dave Canales with the Panthers, and you still have Seahawks with an opening, Commanders with an opening, Falcons with an opening. I don't know why I would see maybe Vrabel with the Falcons, but I think the Falcons have an offensive
lot of
pop.
I don't know. They keep seeing Belichick. I mean, Kyle was adamant that Belichick is going to either Atlanta or the Chargers, and now that the Chargers are out of there, I would guess maybe Atlanta is the Belichick favorite. So I don't really know. What do you think about you just kind of pointed it out there, the theory or the practice, I guess, of hiring the coach before the GM? Because that was something we dealt here in Sacramento where I believe it was Mike Malone was hired as the coach, and then they hired Pete D'Alessandro as the GM. And essentially what happened was the entire time Pete D'Alessandro was trying to undermine Mike Malone and get his own guy, George Karl, in there.
Yeah.
It feels like that's what's always destined to happen, right? It's like the GM's always going to want his guy. Like he's going to always want to have his hands on everything. And of course, if anything goes wrong, the first person you're going to blame is the guy that you didn't appoint, right?
So unless you're going to give that guy ultimate power. Now, Jim Harbaugh doesn't strike me as a guy who wants the GM stuff as well.
I don't know.
But so you would say, of course, AFC
Raiders,
West,
right?
AFC West, always a mess. AFC West, they did that. It's Jim Harbaugh, and maybe Jim Harbaugh is such a big name. Doesn't matter who the GM is, or he might have a hand.
Can I add about Jim Harbaugh and the GM?
Yeah.
Him and Trent Baalke in San Francisco did not get along
Wasn't
at
it
all.
for that specific reason? Right?
A lot of it, but Harbaugh's drafts were also terrible. Especially outside of Alden Smith, his drafts were he inherited that team for the most part. He added a few parts, but he did not get along with Baalke. That plays into Baalke a bit, but some of the reports that came out were bad, to
so
put it
Harbaugh
lightly.
has a bad scouting eye.
Well, I'd say that right now. And then Michigan, I don't know. That's a different world.
It's
college
not,
recruiting.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think he needs a GM who
checks and balances
will work with him. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't think like John Lynch right now would work very well with Harbaugh. I think those are two
Interesting
guys that would clash.
Yeah. Well,
That's just my
so
opinion.
you think they need Harbaugh's personality needs more of a I wouldn't say yes man, but somebody who's willing to cooperate with him.
That's
or do you think
that's what I
someone
would
who needs
say.
to overrule him because he is so present in those decisions?
I think he's good enough to make a choice, and he deserves a second chance in the NFL getting his guys, because obviously you're the coach. You need your guys. You know it's going to work in your head. You know what I mean? And he comes in the league now. He has the highest rated winning percentage in the NFL. He takes over McVay coming back in.
It's an interesting nugget.
Yeah. So which is kind of crazy, but we're talking about the GM. I think he needs a guy who will support his decisions, but also will push Harbaugh in the right direction.
Interesting.
Which is a fine
That's
line
tough.
to walk.
Yeah, you got to have somebody he respects.
Yes.
So out of the teams that needed both, right? You had the Panthers who went GM first with Dan Morgan, and now they hire their head coach. The Commanders, who still don't have a head coach, but they've already hired their GM.
Right,
And
Adam Peters.
the Patriots, who don't have their GM. So the Patriots don't have their GM but have a coach. The Raiders have a GM, but they kind of hired him after
They did, yeah.
the coach. And the Chargers, who have a coach but don't have a GM. So there's 3 teams that did it that way, and there are 2 teams that did it the other way. So we will see
Interesting.
which way pans out. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will discuss the names of the trade market that their prices are getting to be a little ridiculous. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sacktown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The red and gold are breathing a sigh of relief at the moment, narrowly escaping Green Bay 24-21 in the NFC Divisional Round. Quarterback Brock Purdy struggled for much of the contest, but delivered the come-from-behind drive to propel the 49ers to victory. San Francisco is more so concerned about the health wide receiver Deebo Samuel, dealing with a shoulder injury heading into championship weekend. The 49ers will need every man possible with the trip to the big game on the line, needing to get past Detroit first.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and RC Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Gibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Town Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Huge shout out to the Sac Chat helping me out. I'm riding with Emil to the game, so I'm looking for a one-way ticket of something or some way to get back to Sacramento because Emil's going to be riding. He's going to be doing all the press conferences, and I'm not trying to get home at 2 in the morning.
Right.
I'm looking at this Capitol Corridor, and you guys are right. I see special services San Francisco 49ers playoff games was interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it takes you right to Levi Stadium.
That's awesome.
What's interesting is that they have them set up here, but then there's no way to get your, I guess, to buy your, I'm seeing here, book your ticket, but then when you go to book your ticket and you try to put where to go, Levi doesn't come up.
Interesting.
Right. So that is what I'm trying to figure out right now. So just continue walking me through it, people. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Maybe we could do this in one of the breaks. They can help you out or something.
That would be great.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that
a
would
good
be great.
idea,
Let's do that
There
just
you
for
go.
the YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank
to
you.
help Alan.
Thank you.
Help
Help me plan my travel. All right. As we get to some of the big names that Chris and I have thrown around throughout the course of this trade season, I'm putting it to you like this, Kings fans. It's bad news. It's not great news for the Kings. And as far as names that we were really high on, and these are both from Sam Amico, and we discussed them a little bit to start the show as we get into a little bit more detail here. You have Wizards not inclined to trade Kyle Kuzma. That seems pretty darn new. This was posted yesterday at 8:28 p.m. Or last night at 8:28 p.m. So it seems like the Wizards might be deciding we actually do want to build around Kyle Kuzma and Koulibaly and some of these guys. Nobody knows. Maybe that could all change. Maybe people will say, fine, we'll give you the 3 first-round picks, as David Aldridge has kind of mentioned, that they will be looking for a price similar to Pascal Siakam. I think that changes things. And again, Chris, to your point, it's because Kyle Kuzma's contract isn't ridiculous, right?
Yes.
It's either going to cost you first-round picks or you're going to be dealing with a bad contract. These are the two options right now in the market. And the other one that almost made Chris shed a tear when I sent this to him, also from Sam Amico, that the Bulls would want multiple first rounders in any trade involving Alex Caruso. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind?
Makes me upset. Makes me really upset.
What are we doing? Do you think they actually think this, or they're just saying we're just going to wait it out?
No, I'm telling you, I think they really think it. This is Jake Fisher's the one who initially reported the Alex Caruso thing. He said, for starters, Chicago is seeking multiple first-round picks in any deal involving Caruso. Chicago has indicated the Bulls would need multiple first-round picks to even consider parting with Caruso, according to league sources, if Chicago even truly considers moving him at all, Fisher wrote. So it doesn't seem great. And there was also, I mean, not to mention the fact there was teams in line. Jake Fisher reports the Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, Milwaukee Bucks, and New York Knicks are among teams interested in trading for Caruso. I don't know if you noticed, the Kings weren't one of those names.
No.
So it's one of those situations, too, where it's, oh, you want Alex Caruso? Get in line, pal, because so does everybody else. And that's where it's scary, where I don't know if the Kings ever can, if they're competing with teams, it's very unlikely that they can throw out the best deal of any other team.
You know, I don't know if you ever went through this in Sacramento, but it reminds me of pre-pandemic, and the Bay Area rental situation was crazy.
Oh, it's bad here too.
And it reminds me of, I mean, we'd go to see an apartment, and I'm not kidding you, Chris, people wouldn't even look at the actual apartment. They would just run and grab. This is 2019. People were still doing kind of the paper, the paper situation where you fill it out.
Paper applications.
The paper applications,
Paper
right?
situation.
The paper situation application. And they were grabbing the applications before they even looked at the apartment.
Dude,
that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah. No, completely. I mean, yeah, I've completely.
This is crazy now.
It's messed. It's ruined. And, shout out Rudy Gobert for really destroying the trade market.
No, not shout out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. You're right. Whatever the opposite of a shout out is to Rudy Gobert for ruining the trade market. But yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know how any team is supposed to compete with this because Alex Caruso, maybe not Alex Caruso, but a guy, maybe let's say DeMar DeRozan is somebody who, with an expiring contract, you realistically can't expect anything more than maybe you'll get a young player or maybe you'll get a first-round pick like in the 17 or later category, a second half of the first round. But it can't be 2. You can't leverage the future. And if you're the Kings, you just can't even be involved in this Alex Caruso situation because, yes, even though I've been the number one supporter of bringing Alex Caruso into town, it's not worth the giving up the 2 first-round picks because, again, the Kings don't have the luxury of having more picks to move on from to get a guy who will actually – Alex Caruso is going to make an impact, but I don't think he's going to change this team maybe going from a first to a second round. I mean, there's a possibility that maybe it is, but it's not a Jeremy Grant or a Kyle Kuzma or any of the forwards that I think would have more impact. So it's way too big of a price. And it's not just Kyle Kuzma. It's guys like Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah,
and
2 first-rounders.
I mean, really everybody. Clint Capella even, I think they were asking for 2 first-round picks.
So
it's nuts.
Does this make you feel differently about the cost of the Pascal Siakam trade and or the OG Anunoby trade? Does it make you feel like the Knicks and the Pacers who got their guy, does it make you feel like, okay, if this does remain the market and we don't see a drop on February 7th or February 8th prior to the time of the deadline, does this make you feel differently about what they had to give up? Because we thought, man, that's steep. But now if you're saying, well, they got that for Pascal and that's what they're asking for Alex Caruso, I mean.
Well, we'll see. I mean, because the Toronto was in a bit of a different situation where it's almost more comparable to like DeMar DeRozan, where they have if you don't move on from OG or Pascal, they're gone. So you're getting absolutely nothing. The weird thing about this year's trade market is the guys who are available, the Kyle Kuzmas, the Jeremy Grants, the Alex Carusos, the Zach LaVines, they're not expiring. They have multiple years on their contract, and so it becomes more so like the Dame talks where you're not just trading for the end of the season of Damian Lillard, you're trading for 3 full seasons of what he might give you. And so that's just going to, whether right or wrong, it's going to raise the trade value of all those guys because the other team's going to say, well, we don't have to get rid of Zach LaVine this year. Of course we would like to, but at the end of the day, we've already pretty much paid him the $50 million he's owed this year.
Yeah.
Might as well roll the dice for next year and hope that, with another year taken off of his deal, maybe it makes him a little bit more enticing of a player to trade for. So I think it's kind of a weird market in terms of there's not a lot of expiring deals. And usually the expiring contracts are the first ones to say, okay, let's definitely get those off the books like the Toronto guys. Or like the Toronto guys.
But does it make you feel differently? What would you rather do, I guess, in this situation? Because we know how you feel about Jeremy Grant, not the player, the contract or the combination. The combination of it. But if it's going to, what are you more concerned about? Paying what might be an overpay in a contract or giving up for more first rounders than you would have liked? Because maybe in some of these situations with the Zach LaVines of the world, they're willing to say, hey, we know you're paying a higher price.
Yeah.
That's what, so you don't have, it's not going to be the reason that some of these deals are so quote unquote expensive is because they feel like you're getting a value deal. So they're trying to get that value back in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your question there is would I rather do what now?
Overpay Jeremy Grant if it means that the trade isn't as hefty.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to end up giving, if the Kings, regardless of if it's Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, whoever, are going to give up 3 first-round picks, Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then it's like, I mean, if we're going to give up 3 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma or 3 first-round picks for Jeremy Grant, I mean, at that point, I would say you should maybe still factor in money at that point. Like Kyle Kuzma still is technically the better deal, but ultimately, I think if you're going to be paying the price, you should probably just get the player that you feel like is better. And if you feel like Jeremy Grant is just flat out, unequivocally the better player, then whatever. I mean, you were going to give up those picks anyway.
But no. But I'm saying it would be 2 first-rounders for Jeremy Grant because he's more expensive, 3 first-rounders for Kyle Kuzma because he's on a more team-friendly deal. Then which way would you rather go?
Yeah, I would if that's the case, that's tough, but I would probably go Jeremy Grant because I would say maybe
even if
it's the higher paid player, you're getting less and you're still probably getting the better.
There you go. Got to get to a break. When we get back.
I hope you're happy.
No, I definitely am. I knew what I was doing. I was going to get there one way or the other. When we get back, switching over to some Niners talk as we talk about their defense and how they can wake up against the Lions and one of the more immobile quarterbacks in the league, and Jared Goff. Shout out Cal. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, 4 teams battle to get to Vegas for Super Bowl 58. First, it's the AFC Championship as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs want to get back to the Super Bowl as they travel to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the top seed Ravens. Then, the Detroit Lions head west to take on the NFC's number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers.
The AFC Championship at 12, the NFC Championship at 3:30 Sunday on Sactown Sports.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at folsomlakeford.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0 down with approved credit.
A hitter, it's nice to get home runs. If you are a 3-point shooter, it's nice to make some threes. If you are a dunker, we want to see you fly high. And if you are on the D line and you are a defensive end, we want to see if you can get some sacks. And when you add Hargrave to a Nick Bosa, and then you add Chase Young, and you give them all these cool little Ohio State nicknames.
Let's not forget Randy Gregory. Too.
And Randy Gregory,
flyer,
right? And you are actually sacking quarterbacks less, it feels like, than last season based on the guys that you brought in. That seems to be a problem. Well, Nick Bosa spoke with the media and wanted to talk about how maybe they could impact the game in different ways, even if they're not getting home to the quarterback. Here he is.
Not when the scoreboard's in our favor. So we affect the game in different ways. Sacks are good. I feel like I talk about this a lot. I wish I didn't have to, but it's what we're paid to do. So, but affecting the quarterback in different ways could be just as valuable as sacks. They're hard to come by lately, but we're going to keep working our ass off to get them as many as we can.
Great insight right there from Nick Bosa.
Always.
As he basically just says, hey, we're trying here. We're trying to get it done. Now, some of these numbers with Jared Goff would say that it would be really important for them to get it done because Jared Goff is just not a mobile guy at all. You know what? When we talk about these quarterbacks and how it's the evolution of the quarterbacks, everybody's got to be able to move. It's there's a very short list, Chris, of who's left as far as you just have no mobility at all. Because you got a Taylor Heineke.
Sure.
He can even move a bit. But I would say you got Matthew Stafford, who can't run at all. Okay.
Right. He is
Kirk Cousins.
Well, he's got that mobility in the pocket now.
All right.
There's a difference between
and
that's what the Brock Purdy thing is, right? He's
but Brock he got the 10-yard split.
Don't get me started.
Get the 10-yard
Brock
split.
can move. Brock can move.
I would not put Brock in the same.
Brock can absolutely move.
I would not put
And he can
Brock,
throw on the run too, which is nice.
I would not put Brock in the same category as Kirk Cousins. But it seems like they are a dying breed. The guys that seem to be more stationary. And one of the guys that is more even Joe Burrow can get going if he needs to.
I can't even. I'm having a hard time back here.
I'm going through right now, and I see.
I mean, it was Flacco. He couldn't move at all, but that doesn't even count.
I mean, weirdly, Tua, and a lot of people, a lot of Dolphins fans say that's due to some of the
hip injuries,
the concussions. Tua did move a lot. I'm still going through here.
Mac Jones.
All of these. Mac Jones, who is he going to be a quarterback?
That fool's gone.
Is he going to be a quarterback? So you have a guy in Jared Goff who I think, am I tripping earlier in his career with the Rams? He'd run an option here or there. Am I making that up?
I think you might be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he had Todd Gurley.
I just remember seeing him run.
He
I don't remember seeing him run.
will take a sack, too.
No, he loves
doubt.
to take
he
a sack.
will take a sack.
And I would put Baker Mayfield. Weirdly, Baker's undersized and can't move.
Baker can move. What are you talking about?
Baker's mobile.
Baker can definitely move.
Okay.
Baker's mobile.
Well, so there's middle grounds, right? But whatever it is, I think Jared Goff is one of the least mobile quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks in the league.
I think Baker and Purdy are pretty similar. Purdy might be a little faster.
Yeah.
But when it comes to mobility, I think they're almost.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So there's like the Baker, Purdy, and then there's a Kirk Cousins, I would say, after that. And then there's Goff. And maybe
Goff
Kirk
is
Cousins.
a standing guy. Goff does not. Goff is on the same level of
like Derek
Peyton
Carr.
Manning when it comes to not moving. Derek Carr will move. Derek Carr will dive for the end zone and all that stuff.
Well, he'll
will
fumble
take
it
a
out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Derek Carr
will stand there and take a hit.
I feel like Derek Carr and John Elway have the same mobility. And maybe it's because I'm thinking of John Elway being smashed through the air for that touchdown in the Super Bowl, spun around. But I think they move more than Jared Goff.
Yeah, it's crazy. The bottom line is that Jared Goff, they're not a lot of starting quarterbacks that are less mobile than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So my point is, if you can't sack Jared Goff, that's a problem. That is a problem. And I don't want to hear about getting pressure on him.
Because that's what Bosa just said.
That's what Bosa just said now.
Isn't there? So I guess what is their job? Is their job to get to the quarterback, or is their job to affect the quarterback's decision making or play?
Yeah, it's both. And here you go from our guy Akash Anavarathan, the EPA expected play average per
Love that
play
stat,
in a clean pocket. Brock Purdy is number 1 and Jared Goff is number 7. The expected play average per play under pressure, Brock Purdy is number 3. How about that? Jared Goff, you want to guess where Jared Goff ranks here? He's number 28. He's basically the worst quarterback under pressure. He's definitely the worst quarterback left under pressure.
That's also that's a per play average, like a per situation average? Because I was going to say, because I was going to say he's probably not under pressure too often. That line is sick.
That's
the lines
fair.
probably have. I will definitely say they have the best offensive line remaining in the playoffs. But I mean, it could just be a situation of he's really not under duress very often, which is what that team is built. I mean, they built that team. The Lions. Hey, I don't know if y'all knew this. The Lions have had a lot of top picks here in their recent and not so recent history. So they've been able to build this thing out about as carefully and meticulously as you could want. And they've really built out that offense specifically from the line out. And so I think it's going to be tough to get to him. If you're talking about getting all the way to him, I think it's going to be tough, especially with, I mean, if Wilkes still really only sending 4 guys. I know that was a thing really throughout the majority of the season. But have we noticed any sort of switching up or diverting from that plan? Because I know
he'll bring blitzes. He'll bring blitzes, but it's not like
he's blitz it occasionally.
He's not running like a 5-2 where there's 5 on the line,
Right.
5 D linemen, and then he definitely blitzes though. He'll bring Fred or Dre in. Usually, sometimes.
And nobody has really seemed to get home. Jordan Love is obviously much more mobile in the pocket,
absolutely,
right, and just more elusive in general than Jared Goff. So, I mean, all this stuff is shaking up, man, for the Niners to just do work.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the Lions defense is the part of this where it's just that's where they lose me. I mean, we can talk about the Lions offense all day and how many weapons they have and how, the Niners can't sleep on this and the Niners defenses look shaky. But the other end, it's just like I don't see how the Lions defense, forget stopping the Niners, I just don't see them making enough plays to realistically make this thing tough for them. I feel like the Niners are going to go into every single offensive possession saying, we should probably score a touchdown here.
Right,
Anything less is honestly a failed drive because, I mean, with the Niners, it's like two completely opposite ends of the spectrum where the Niners are so ridiculously crazy efficient on offense. And it's not like the Lions defense is completely just unusable, but they're definitely, I mean, they're kind of like the Kings defense of last year where, they might not be the worst.
Not their run defense.
No, absolutely no. Their pass defense more so. But even then, I mean, I said it, I think yesterday, even if you have the best run defense in the NFL, when you're facing the best running back in the NFL, I mean, that's a real test of how strong you're actually are at that at that specific part. So I just think it's going to be a tough assignment for the Lions defense to just even try and slow down the Niners.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Yeah. We'll do our official predictions tomorrow.
Taking overs.
All of the numbers that we're seeing, and just based on what the Niners have faced this season and what the Lions have faced this season, are pointing towards the Niners taking care of business. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, Bronny James, is there a path to get him to Sacramento and his dad as well? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
1 year ago, the San Francisco 49ers fell a game short of their goal to get to the Super Bowl. Now they are back in the NFC title game and hosting the Detroit Lions.
San Francisco is 1 win away from a trip to Las Vegas and a chance at the Lombardi Trophy. Don't miss a moment. Catch every play of the NFC Championship game Sunday at 3:30 here on your home of the San Francisco 49ers, Sactown Sports.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
The Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is back Sunday, February 4th at Thunder Valley Casino. Meet and greet the class of 2024. Matt Barnes, James Donaldson, Leon Lee, and Jamie Whitmore. Don't miss Sacramento's best sports night of the year. Food served between 6 and 7 p.m. Live entertainment with comedian Dennis Gaxiola. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration Sunday night, February 4th. All info, go to SacSportsHOF.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Time to get your tickets for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration, February 4th at Thunder Valley. Inductees include Matt Barnes. Go to Ticketmaster.com.
This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and R.C. Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way. This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and R.C. Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 707, getting back to some Kings talk. Shout out 707, could be E40. I don't understand how these first-round picks are mortgaging the future. These middle picks are a hit or miss. Davion was a first-round pick. He's terrible, and I don't think he's terrible. And I think our pick this year forward, who doesn't even play. I'd rather have a proven player.
We don't have a first-round pick from this year.
Well, he thinks
no, that's what I know. Yeah,
yeah.
We did. It was Omax Prosper, and he's not playing for the Mavericks right now. So Jordan Ford was a two-way player.
I do understand where 707 is coming from, though, as far as if you are picking in the teens or later.
I mean, it's a crapshoot, but it's incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Like, think about what Christian Brown did for the Nuggets last year. He made Bruce Brown expendable by being a late 20s pick that they hit on.
But would you argue that the ideas of picks might be more valuable than the actual picks?
It's like a car. Absolutely. Okay. It's the second you make the pick, it's no longer the same value as if you would have traded it 5 minutes before making the pick. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then from the 916, why is a garbage running back and was going crazy in Detroit? So their running defense or on Detroit. So they're white, I think they meant to say. So their running defense doesn't look too good to me. We'll see. Like I said, they're between the fact that the fact that the Lions have to defend both with the Niners should win this football game. We're not saying that they're not. We're just telling you where Detroit's running defense is ranked. If you don't think that they have a good running defense, that's fine. We're just saying what the numbers say. And look, when you do have to face a team like the Niners who aren't specifically going to run the football or throw the football, they can do both. And when they're best when they are balanced, and every team is best when they're balanced, but they have elite players to balance it out. That's when teams get into trouble. So yeah, the Lions, the Cinderella story, and we'll get into later in the show about do the Lions really represent the rest of America? And as far as the Niners and the hate towards Brock Purdy, we'll talk about that as well. But yeah, Niners should take care of business. There's no doubt about it. We're just saying the Lions are supposed to have a good rushing defense based on the numbers. All right, everybody's favorite son of an athlete, Bronny James. There is a report out. This is from Windhorse. I'll read it, then we'll play the audio. Everyone's got an opinion on Bronny James. I've got people telling me this guy's going in the first round, no doubt. Not necessarily because of what he's showing at USC, but just because of the dynamics around the pick. Let's hear from him.
And Bronny James, because everybody's got an opinion. And by the way, they're all different. It's not like people are like, oh, that guy shouldn't come out, or, like I've got people telling me this guy's going in the first round, no doubt. And not necessarily because of what he's showing at USC, but just because of the dynamics around the pick. I just say he's 19 years old playing his first year of college basketball, and he had a major health event in July, like 7-8 months ago. So like my expectations for him are pretty low, but that's not everybody. A lot of people have huge expectations for him. So I know you're contractually obligated to watch and track Bronny James. So where is he in your eyes at this point?
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say. Like I saw him play in high school a bit, so I've sort of seen his progression. I'd say two things. One, like if he were not who he is, like if his name were not LeBron James Jr., I do think he'd be viewed as a prospect. Like he plays the right way. He has a skill set. He's a good player. But I will also say that, given all you just said, factoring in the health factor and him still getting acclimated to playing, like I think were he not who he is, I also think that he would be viewed as probably more of like a guy who would benefit from.
Yeah, I mean, even just the clips that I've seen, right? We were discussing genes before the show, and Bronny is not cut from the same cloth as LeBron as far as physically. He is a point guard, and at this point, from what I've seen, a 3-and-D type point guard. He doesn't really create that much as far as scoring. He's not an elite scorer at this moment in time. I've always thought deep down, and I don't have any sources. I don't know the James, but I've always thought deep down, is it crazy to think that Bronny, I know, it wouldn't be the first time a kid does something for themselves and not what their parents want. Is it crazy to think that Bronny doesn't come out? There's a part of me that thinks he won't come out. Health thing that happened, and obviously, the USC, I don't know if they weren't terrible. They're not very good. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Bronny doesn't come out and he just says, hey, Dad, I want to make sure that I have a good college experience, and I want to make sure that when I do leave, I'm ready. Shortened off season because of the health scare. They're saying he's 6'4". He is a point guard who doesn't create too much. Every time I see a clip,
more like a 2. I think if he's gonna be in the NBA, he's probably gonna play 2 guard.
Every time I see a clip of him scoring, it's catching a pass and shooting.
Yeah. He can drive a little bit. He's really fast. That's the thing.
He can drive a little bit, but we're talking about the NBA draft here.
No, for sure. I mean, there's nothing like special about his profile or anything like that besides the fact his name is LeBron James Jr.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could maybe convince yourself that he's somebody who knows who he is, and there's some value of that. Like, I don't think Bronny's under any illusion that he is not literally LeBron James Jr. So I think in that sense, I mean, he's also coming from obviously an NBA family. He understands what it takes to be an NBA player. There's some things you could talk yourself into, but if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., absolutely, there's no way he would be even considering remotely going into the NBA draft. But it might happen, especially this is, from what I understand, the worst draft year that there's been. They're saying since like 2013 when Anthony Bennett and Ben McLemore, Victor Oladipo.
Now you sound like the 707. Then blank those picks.
Oh, this year? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, the Kings
blank those
they
picks.
pretty much don't have their first round pick this year. So, I mean, they pretty much already did do that with Kevin Huerter. They absolutely did that. And teams are, you hear how picks are being thrown out left and right. I think picks have been completely devalued. Absolutely.
Yeah. And let's just play the game that Bronny does come out.
Yeah.
Right. How do you think this whole thing goes?
I bet he's a second round pick. Someone's going to take a flyer on him. I don't think that any team is actually going to fall for the illusion that you get Bronny and you get LeBron.
You don't?
No, I don't think so. I think teams are smarter than that. I think that, there's a chance, of course. It's like, we'll talk about it in a second, but like Thanasis is apparently on the trade block, and it's no different than that. But it's, you have a chance at signing LeBron, or an elevated chance of signing LeBron, but I don't think LeBron is just going to say, "Oh, Bronny got drafted by Portland. I guess I'm packing my bags and moving to the PNW."
He really wants to play with Bronny.
He does.
So how else would
under
that happen?
LeBron circumstances?
But I don't know if it's under LeBron circumstances.
We hear like guys like Trace Jackson Davis managed to let his draft stock slip. Austin Reeves did the same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if Bronny's not a first round pick. Clutch client. I guarantee Bronny Jr. is going to be a clutch client. I guarantee they'll talk to teams and say, "Hey, if you don't actually have plans of playing Bronny, like, don't draft him because we're going to get him to the Lakers." And that's what's going to happen if he can just go undrafted and be an undrafted free agent.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see that.
That be what I
see the
guess.
vision.
Because it's not crazy if Bronny goes undrafted. Like it's like Windhorse said, he's hearing first round buzz. But again, I think that teams, when push comes to shove and they really need to make a pick, especially, maybe a team like OKC or Utah who has 30 first round picks in the next 4 years. Maybe they're viewing their third first round pick in the first round as whatever. Yeah, here, we'll take Bronny. It's whatever. It's whatever to us anyway. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bronny goes undrafted.
The Knicks are considered the favorites to acquire Thanasis Antetokounmpo should the
It's
Milwaukee
your favorite
Bucks
subject, isn't it?
decide. You put it in.
I know.
You put it down.
It's
You did
because
it for
I know
me.
you
did
love
for
it so
me.
much.
Should the Milwaukee Bucks decide to trade him, this is per Bovada, Knicks have the best odds. What are we doing? There is more of a chance of LeBron following Bronny than Giannis following his G League brother to the Knicks.
Would he even get minutes before Giannis got there?
No.
You think he would play any?
Did you see that clip yesterday? Did you see that clip yesterday when he was warming up and then he was bouncing his legs? I don't even know what he was doing.
How much is he making?
I don't know.
Dude, Giannis is such a good brother.
He's got two others, so how is he going to hook the other two up?
He's got to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe G League contracts or something like. I think one of them is with their G League team. Funny enough.
No, come on now.
No,
people. If he goes to New York, the media is going to go insane.
It's going to go
that.
nuts.
So I guess that's why those odds are so good.
I don't think. You know what? I think Giannis. You get a taste of that power, okay, and you will not have that type of power in a big market.
No.
You won't.
No.
I mean, even LeBron has had some issues in LA, and that's LeBron.
Maybe if he goes to like the Brooklyn Nets or something, like where he can say, "Hey,"
Well,
like
yeah,
we talked about yesterday. Hey, you guys want to make an inroad in New York? Bring Giannis to town.
Yeah, but you also talked about how that didn't work.
Well, yeah, they didn't win a title. So,
yeah, they didn't do really anything.
That was a different story.
Different time.
Yeah.
So Kostas is the youngest one.
I believe Alex is the youngest.
Okay, because Kostas is a Greek Nigerian professional basketball player.
Yes, one of them is not even in the NBA.
So he's not even. So Giannis must not love him as much. And then you have Francis.
Really?
Francis, he's 35. He doesn't even hoop.
Imagine being Giannis's brother and you can't.
He doesn't hoop. And now you have Alex.
Some say Giannis can't hoop either.
Yeah, Alex is the one in G League with the Wisconsin Herd. with the Wisconsin
for the
herd.
Bucks. Okay,
exactly.
So he's got the three. He's got the bros.
3. So the question ultimately is, and
How
I
bad
mean
is
this, how bad is
Dude.
Well, or
Francis.
Kostas.
Yeah.
Kostas, he's 6'10", he's 26, and Giannis can't even get you on the G League team.
I think Kostas had a cup of coffee in the NBA, but I've never heard of Francis.
He just
on
says,
Scoop.
"Hey man, I can't save all
What
of
if
us."
Francis is like 5'8"?
Francis
He's just
has to be
super
their manager
short.
or something.
Francis, yeah, I'm sure Francis is chilling.
Yeah.
Like you said, he doesn't hoop, so they don't even have his listed height. He does not look like the other brothers. He is the one bro who does not. Who
Good
does
old
not.
Frank. They probably call him Frank.
Yeah,
Frank
we will have
He's
more
a lawyer.
information. We have more information on Frank when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Stop by any participating AM/PM location for a 20% off ticket discount code when you buy Monster Energy.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Progressive knows we're all trying to save right now.
Hey, at least we're still enjoying baseball on a Saturday night, right?
Even if it is T-ball.
Yeah, but tickets to the majors are just so expensive now. And who knows, maybe we're seeing a pro in the making.
Sure, in like 20 years. How is he safe? Boo! This ump stinks!
The ump is only 14. We don't really do that.
Oh, my bad. You're doing a great job, ump.
Progressive offers you savings without sacrifice. So save big when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payments with 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Thanks to everybody that helped out. I think I have this all figured out. You know what? I'm really confused. Can somebody help me as I'm just learning a lot about public transportation? I mess with Amtrak a lot. I go on Amtrak a lot when Chris and I were trying to figure this whole thing out. But what is the difference between Capitol Corridor and Amtrak? Why are there two different names?
I believe Capitol Corridor is just the so I believe, and I could be completely wrong here. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to try and do it. I would just say Amtrak goes like all America, and Capitol Corridor is mainly just
this northern.
Yes, I believe, but it's based out of Sacramento.
Gotcha.
Like
gotcha.
all of the. I
that
could
sounds
be
right.
Completely wrong, but just judging off of the am in Amtrak, assuming that's America track, and Capitol Corridor having something to do with capital of California, and I believe the logo has the capital on there. So just a little bit of investigative journalism by me.
Look at this guy.
Something light.
Look at this guy.
I got the brown coat
just
on.
Just grinding.
Today, so.
Trust your work.
Yeah.
Trust your work.
Okay.
Shout out Davion, as the Kings try to trust their work tonight, headed to the Bay to take on the Warriors. No Sasha.
Like the Bay.
Yeah. Thank you, Draymond.
Come on, Dre.
He is back, and Sasha Vezenkov is out. Right, he is going to be reevaluated in 7 to 14 days, something like that, with the ankle. I think he went 2 ankle sprains in the course of a week.
How about an injury update from the Kings? Wow.
Yeah.
Remember when I was complaining about that all that time ago?
Everybody is starting to level up. And how you feeling? I know that they've been down. The Warriors, I was actually hoping that the Warriors would take care of business, obviously, with everything going on and the passing of their assistant coach, and they haven't played in a very long time. It was a very emotional situation. We will have JD, John Dickinson, who is the Warriors insider for KNBR out there in the Bay. We will have him on at 12:30. But, yeah, I was just thinking, man, okay, well, I want them to get the win because of that.
Right.
I also want them to get the win because the Kings are coming to town. Yeah. And if they were to lose yesterday, they would have even worse intentions on their mind, losing to the same shorthanded Hawks team. And they basically led wire to wire. I mean, real quick before we get into the Warriors, what do you think DeJounte Murray's thought process is? I mean, he's literally just playing pickup basketball.
Yeah. From what I understand, he's vibing right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally saying, oh, okay, I got graduation goggles. Like, I'm not going to view this as sad. I'm going to say, great, this thing's almost over. I'm going to enjoy this freedom while I have it, because it seems like pretty soon I'm going to be asked to be in a pretty serious situation where I'm going to have to buckle down. So shout out him. Shout out to DeJounte Murray, who he's like, Trae Young ain't playing. Right. Y'all are trading us all anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy this time in Atlanta.
I'm gonna
get city from what I hear.
I'm gonna get these buckets up,
I'm gonna get these wings.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna have a great old time looking at the box score for the Warriors last night with the Hawks. Andrew Wiggins 12 points. Dario Saric. Do not let Dario Saric.
He cooked us last time, man. I don't know if it was last time, but
it
one
was
of the
2 times ago.
Yeah, it was
in Chase though.
Yeah,
it was in Chase.
Right.
So, we know how bench players, role players play, and he's been starting a little bit as well. With Draymond has been coming off the bench. I don't think we can ask JD, but I don't think that today would be the first day that he starts. But Dario Saric, 10 points, 16 minutes. Kevon Looney, great story. If you're ever bored look up Kevon Looney high school highlights. I mean, the dude was a stud.
He was different.
He was pulling KD comparisons. And I know if you've never heard this before, I probably sound insane, but just go watch the tape.
It's crazy.
Go watch the tape. Now, Kevon Looney, a diminished role. It's just the game is kind of just passing him by, I feel like, and his type of play. 7 rebounds last night in 10 minutes, 2 points. Steph Curry, of course, 25 points. Klay Thompson, 24 points. Jonathan Kuminga with a historic night with tying Chris Mullin by going 11 for 11. He did not miss a field goal. He had 25 points, the perfect game. And Brandon Pajimski, who really just gets on my nerves, 10 points. Draymond with 12. I believe he had 2 3-pointers. Trace Jackson Davis, 4 points. So Corey Joseph, who they've been trying to get out of there, but there's nowhere for him to go until
we've been there before.
Until Chris Paul gets back with 8 points. And this is a team that you never know, man. They still got that guy over there. They still got number 30 over there. You never know when Clay 24 points for Clay is pretty good these days.
Yeah, last time we saw him, he was struggling.
Now you might think that, okay, no way Clay goes back-to-back to 20-plus games, 20-point-plus games back-to-back. Clay was emotional during the tribute. Clay, was really emotional during that. Pretty hard to bounce back from a game like that. Very emotional. But they could say, guys, we got Draymond back. We're playing for a higher purpose now to, you know what I mean, to kind of show our respects and all of that. This could be what they feel like could catapult their season and get them back in the right direction. And they get to do it against the palate cleanser of the Kings. A little rivalry. They're going to get up for that. I'm worried, Chris. I'm worried.
Sure. No, I mean, something that Mike Brown said more so when the Kings were struggling with their back-to-back issues. A reason why he said it's so tough is because that second night of a back-to-back, you can't really fully prep for. It's such a quick turnaround in terms of game planning. You can only tell the guys a certain amount of things. Well, the Warriors aren't really falling into that. I mean, they've played the Kings so many times. It's like, hey, just do what we did the 15 other times we've played these guys in the last 2 months. So in that sense, the Kings are losing a bit of a natural advantage there. And, like you said, Golden State, they're playing with a purpose right now. They also are playing refreshed in a way.
Yeah,
I mean, they haven't, they took all of last week off with the game suspended, with the 2 games, I believe, suspended last week. So, in theory, if you are going to be coming back and playing a back-to-back, this should be a pretty well-rested Warrior team, even though, you could also maybe say, hey, possibly they're going to be a little bit rusty. And, they put so much effort, not a crazy amount of effort yesterday. Clay played 30 minutes. Steph played 31. So nothing crazy, but at the same time, they haven't played those back-to-back in a really long time either. So who knows? They might be just a little bit out of shape, but they're gonna probably rely on those 2 guys you mentioned off the bench a lot today, if I had to guess. A lot of Pajemski and a lot of Kuminga, because you got to rely on your young guys when you're an older team like Golden State is.
And respectfully, right? These games have to be played. You understand that situation. If you're the Kings, you got to get out there and run.
Yep, absolutely.
You got to get out there and run. Don't got to take care of the basketball, but you got to get out there and run and regardless, it's still a back-to-back. Has nothing to do with whether they obviously that's part of it too, that they haven't played in a little bit, but you got to get out there and run. And if you're the Kings, you played two games in the span of 6 days or more than that, 10 days, something like that.
You're just as rested almost. Yeah.
Even much. And even so, and you're not coming off the back-to-back. And as we break down the other games on this road trip, no disrespect to the Warriors, but this is going to be one of the easier games for you based on the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, you haven't played since Monday. And the Kings, too, you should use this as a nice little testing ground to see, hey, we haven't played these fools in a really long time. And, the Kings struggled. I mean, even the one win they got was a miraculous comeback in which the Warriors blew a 20-point second-half lead. Let's see if the Kings are a little bit past that point now. Is the Warriors a little bit off their backs? The Warriors have had a tough stretch since then. They've lost a ton of games. They're now 3 or 4 games below 500. The Kings should look at this as, hey, every time we've played these guys, it's felt like they're still having a little bit of that Warrior juice left. Now it feels like there's not much of the mystique of the golden years of the Golden State Warriors. Let's see the Kings try and treat them like they're just a typical NBA team and not this big, huge presence that we know the Warriors to be.
Get into a break. When we get back, how can the Kings take down the Warriors? And your calls on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Player and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 15% when you buy 4 or more Purdy paint products. And there's more. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more panels of select OSB sheathing. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
In the 1930s, Lucky Luciano, founder of the modern mafia, was taken down by prosecutor Eunice Carter, one of the first Black woman assistant district attorneys in New York. The Godmother, an immersive 10-part podcast, delves into her unstoppable rise as she takes on roles from writer to politician, revealing a badass anti-hero, unafraid to bend the rules for justice.
But for Eunice Carter, I don't know that Luciano would ever have been convicted of anything.
Listen to The Godmother wherever you get your podcasts.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's a new year, so the big question is what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
Sadly, the end of an era is here. Dodge has stopped making the classic gas-powered Charger and Challenger, so this is your last chance to get your hands on some American muscle with that iconic V8 power. And now is the best time to buy because you can get up to $7,000 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT and Challenger GT.
Yeah, that's one of those things you hope they wouldn't do. Truly is the end of an era.
Yeah. And that means when they're gone, they're gone.
See their full selection when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
7,000 total net savings after 6,500 dealer discount and 500 factor rebate. Includes 500 first responder cash. Must be member of qualifying first responder program. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 700 plus FICO score required. $13.89 per thousand borrowed and no payments for 90 days. 5 of this net savings. Sample VIN 648-404.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Kings kick off a 7-game road trip. This was one of my buddy's walkout songs at Temple.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
Was it
Drive,
this part
baby?
right here?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen Drive?
I mean, it's not my swag.
It's
I need
okay.
something more upbeat.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Right.
I
It's
like
not
this for
bad.
you.
Yeah.
Not for me, though.
I like this for you.
Yeah, I need
It's not
something.
bad. Yeah.
I'll find Nate. I
It's
will find
bouncy,
my
yeah.
walkout. Because, that was still back in the day when there was the hot new hip hop. So the goal was to find something, and you couldn't really find the edited version. So you had to tell the PA person, hey, cut it at 122 and not a second longer.
Yeah.
But, I'll get my – because I told you the DMX for
Yes. Yeah.
De La Salle,
Yeah.
but I will find it was a artist from P-World, Pittsburgh, California.
P-World?
Call it P-World out there.
Love me some P World.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Yak, which is Antioch.
Yeah,
and then
right. I've
there's-
heard that.
And
Yeah.
then there's P-World. So
I've never heard the Yak. I like that.
So I will,
I like the Yak.
I will
I see.
find that for you for sure as the Kings kick off a 7-game road trip. We read off the box score from the Warriors last night, and man, this is just a team that as soon as you think they're done, as soon as you think you can't, you don't really have to worry about them. Somebody gets hot, right? And it's been happening less and less as everybody is raving. It's so funny, Warriors fans, because obviously there's still a ton of them on my feeds. Kuminga's untouched now. Kuminga's untouchable
Of course,
now. Y'all were
yeah.
trying to get rid of him about a week ago.
Mhm.
Now he has a good game. He's untouchable again. And, you're giving this guy more opportunities. I guess Steve Curry is now all of a sudden he's untouchable. If he gets that offensive skill set, it could be dangerous.
Sure.
So you're coming off a back-to-back. Again, you got Klay Thompson scoring 20+. You get Kuminga, the perfect game, not missing a shot, 11
Right.
for 11. I would bet one of those two things doesn't happen again.
Yeah. I would.
One of those two things.
The Kuminga thing is interesting because he hasn't really, even in the playoffs, hasn't really had a great game against the Kings. So that would be interesting just to kind of see where that offense would come from. Because funny enough, I mean, the guy who's absolutely killed the Kings from the Warriors that the Warriors just haven't, because apparently Steve Kerr hates him, is Moses Moody. He's been the one who every single time is. I know. Yeah. Remember Moses Moody?
I think he is still injured with the calf, though.
Yes. No, he is. He's
But
still
yeah,
hurt,
I wouldn't
but
know whether he is or not.
It's just we haven't seen what Jonathan Kuminga can be from the Kings side of things. Every time he's been somebody who Kerr is hesitant to throw out there. I think even in the playoffs, he played Kuminga the first 2 games and then really didn't play him much at all the rest of the series. So that'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of impact he has. Because ideally, if we're thinking, I mean, when Kuminga was on the trade block all of those 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how he's a guy that the Kings don't really have. He's a really long, physical, crazy athlete. And that's also been the prototype of the guys who kill the Kings. So it'll be interesting to see, though the Kings did do a really good job with Jalen Johnson the other day. I think Kuminga presents a lot of similar problems where that fool is just going to attack the rim. And as we know, the Kings really don't have excellent rim protection. And, they've been better this year, but really do allow people to drive the lane pretty easy.
Yeah, I think both these teams are going to be lacking in other areas. We did the game with Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross about what we think is going to happen. A lot of 3-pointers will be shot.
Oh yeah,
today from the Stack Chat from Laylo. Keegan covers Steph. Absolutely not. I've already said I don't want to see Keegan on these small guards anymore. I think that there's versatility in defense, and Keegan has that. Starting to push it a little bit. It's getting to Mahomes and Kadarius Toney level to where, hey, Keegan can guard the best player on the other team if it's a bigger guard or someone like that. I remember you running the numbers and what Coach Mike Brown even said. You will see Kevin Huerter on Steph Curry, and I think that's a great pull from Jason Ross saying that Davion will have a big night, because I think we see Davion tonight. We might see Keon Ellis tonight. I don't think Keegan will be on Steph very often.
Yeah, I bet it happens a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be the primary plan. They'll probably start the game, like you said, with Kevin on him. Mike has talked endlessly about how he thinks Kevin is a really good matchup on Steph. Whether or not we agree or not, he's going to insist on it. So I would expect, and Mike also always talks about, specifically with Steph, but you got to give those guys like a healthy diet of just different. Like it's not even necessarily that he thinks Kevin Huerter is one of the best defenders on the team or one of the best Steph stoppers out there. It's just, hey, here's Kevin Huerter for 8 minutes. Here's Keegan Murray for another 8 minutes. And then we're going to end probably with De'Aaron on him. And so it's like, hey, here's 3 completely different body types, different types of athletes. And, it's going to be a game for you throughout this game to try and figure out, okay, maybe some of Huerter's weaknesses aren't the same as Keegan's weaknesses, which aren't the same as De'Aaron's weaknesses. And so you're just trying to make Steph think as much as possible. So, it's I don't know if it necessarily works, but you got to, when a guy like Steph, or when you're playing a guy like Steph, you almost got to try and beat him mentally as much as you're beating him actually on the floor.
And offensively, and I know these teams switch a lot. Most teams do these days, but offensively, I was watching the game last night, and they had Kuminga on DeJounte Murray. Now, DeJounte Murray, a shady 6'5",
that's a tough
type
matchup
guard. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not going to be Clay these days on De'Aaron. You're going to see Kuminga on De'Aaron, and I want to see how he takes that. You see a long defender like Kuminga. Is he more 3 happy because he doesn't feel like he can get to the cup?
Him,
Leapers like to leap. De'Aaron is very good at the shot fakes and the pump fakes. Does he result to that? But I would bet you're going to see Kuminga on De'Aaron a lot. Yeah. And that's a guy who doesn't want to get easily switched off.
Right, yeah.
So I think you can try, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think Kuminga is going to try to fight through that stuff. And we saw they still don't have Chris Paul. They still don't have GP2. And GP2 is a guy that you would see in that spot as well. So offensively, I know we got Prop Top coming up later at about 1:30, but Nate asked me a question about De'Aaron Fox in the prop talk, and now I'm kind of talking myself out of it just because of Kuminga and Kuminga's prowess defensively. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, 916-339-1140. Let's get out to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? How you doing today? You know where you're at.
Oh, yeah, I definitely know where I'm at, man. I hope you figured out your ride situation, man. My brother used to take the Ace train from Stockton to the Bay all the time. And, I guess that thing is a commuter train, so kind of nice. Real quick, man. So what is up with you and Pajemski?
What is up with?
I know you come from the Bay. I know you come from Warriors land.
Yeah.
But my God,
I'm not feeling him.
Why do you not like Pajemski?
I'll tell you why. So basically, did you have anything else or?
No, that was essentially it, man.
That was going to take some time.
Okay. I'll tell you why.
Keep the Warriors for a minute. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, this guy, thanks for the call, Steven. Basically, he's one of these guys who they said they're very open, the Warriors are, about how cocky he is. And he is pretty cocky. Yeah. The first thing that annoyed me about Pajemski was when we were watching, I think it was the most recent game in Golden 1 for the in-season tournament, and he's on the bench.
He was wild.
He wasn't even – I'm going to be honest, it was giving shades of Tyrese Halliburton.
It was. No, it really was.
He's bench mobbing it
thought
up.
He was Kent Bazemore out there.
And am I a little jealous? Yeah, because the Kings don't really have a crazy bench mob, but he's bench mobbing it up. He's looking at the crowd. Yeah. I'm thinking, dude, you've done nothing in this league. And here's the other thing. This guy, he does this thing that just really annoys me to where, you know how people keep receipts?
Yes.
He will do that for anything. And I don't even follow him on Twitter, but it pops up on my feed. It's almost like somebody's trolling me to where this is from Warriors on NBC. This is from Warriors NBC Sports, right? It's an article and it says Brandon Podziemski, and this isn't the first time. Brandon Podziemski appears to have hit the proverbial rookie wall, and how he attacks the challenge could determine how far the Warriors go. He quote tweets it with a writing emoji, like he's taking notes, and he does this stuff all the time, and it annoys me. Yeah. You're not doing anything. Right. And then every time when the Warriors have been going through it, we get mad at it's almost fake hustle to me. That's what it is, right? So in baseball, there was I don't know if you want to call it an epidemic to where one guy in the College World Series, he was super juiced up and he got hit by a ball, right? He got hit by a ball and he sprinted to first base and it just amped up the team and it was natural.
Oh, I
and
think
it
was literally juiced up. Like
no. Shout out, yeah, I don't know, shout out anybody there, but he got hit by a ball and he sprinted to first base, right? And the first time we saw it, I've never seen that before. That kind of got me going, right? That's pretty dope. Then it turned into a thing to where everybody, it's a pop fly, clearly in foul territory, sprint it out. It's a walk, sprint it out. And I'm thinking, this is corny now. This is fake hustle to me. And so Brandon Podziemski, when the Warriors are going through their struggles, we're getting mad at the whoever players on the Kings for not taking accountability. Brandon Podziemski is saying, no, this one's on me.
Yeah.
This one. Will you stop it? It's not on you, and you know that.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was one scene where they lost something, and he was just sitting on the bench like it was the Final Four, and he's just sitting on the bench after the game ended. And somebody on the Warriors said, look how much this means to him. I can't stand the fake hustle. That's why, Steven.
I don't like the Warriors hype machine, if I had to throw in anything to that. I just also don't like that Brandon Podziemski, I'm now all of a sudden supposed to believe he's playing like Jaime Jaquez is. Like, it's like, this dude is one of, people don't get it.
He's untouchable.
And Trace Jackson Davis, like, he is playing well. I like how Trace Jackson Davis is playing, but, oh my God, steal of the draft.
Right.
Even though we completely manipulated the draft so no one would take him so that we could get him in the second round. Steal of the draft. What are other GMs doing?
Yep. It's ridiculous. And he does this receipt thing all the time. And honestly, you know, he's just one of those guys. And that's, you know, the guys that you like on your team. But if he's not on your team, it annoys you. And he annoys me. And if he goes off tonight,
remember when Nico Mannion was the thing? I think he's better than Nico Mannion.
Yes, and if he goes off tonight, that's Steven's fault for making me go on this rant about Brandon Podziemski. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we're continuing to discuss the Kings and the Warriors and what our expectations are for this 7-game road trip. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought him. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in
the Golden State Warriors. Next, you get Chris Watkins' favorite player, Luka Doncic. After that, you get the short-handed Grizzlies, to put it lightly. After that, you get Heat culture. And after that, Tyrese Halliburton and his oversized sweaters, because I guess he probably...
Did you see the fit he had on yesterday?
Dude, he got roasted.
Brother, what is that? He looked like Sherlock Holmes's like assistant or something. Like what?
No, I wish we had
sweeping chimneys or something. What is going on?
No, people were like, "What is this extra? Read all about it." Looking fit.
Oh, man. Dude looked like he was in the Christmas Story or something.
Well,
like, what is going on?
Yeah,
these chimney
kids these days, they're just doing.
No, I think it's just him. That's the problem.
Right.
He feels like he's getting a fit off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, brother, who dropped you off in a time machine?
Right. There's just a lot. Or he looks like he's about to charge me $17 for a well drink.
Brother. Yeah, exactly.
That's what he looks like.
Cocktail.
Yes, he is a mixologist to the highest order.
1,000%.
He's going to shake. He's got two hands. He's shaking with both hands.
Yep.
And there will
Some
be
dry
incense.
ice in
yes,
there
will be incense and a orange rind, a peel rind.
Yeah.
That's what's going on there. After that, you head to the, I guess, the biggest trade capital of the NBA right now in Chi-Town in Chicago. After that, they were hot. They may have cooled off, but they still have guys that can do some things, and they might be looking for a little bit of revenge in the Cavs, and you have them in Cleveland. Get back, you take on the Pistons, who are the Pistons, and after that, and they might have Zach LaVine by that point, and after that, right. You have the Nuggets and start your Nuggets. It's just a Nuggets February.
Yeah.
And with all that being said, in between that, at some point, the trade deadline will come and go.
Yep. It's definitely a very interesting time right now. And I think that, just in general, we need to keep that in mind as the Kings are apparently going to go into this road trip before making a move. It's a really tough time. It's really awkward, especially, as the deadline gets even closer. We're a little bit, week and a half pretty much.
I stopped checking.
It's, the guys are going to start getting nervous around game time where it's like, Harrison Barnes is somebody who's definitely got some trauma to deal with because he was traded literally in the middle of a game one time. So it's one of those things where, these dudes are literally walking out into warmups and quite literally looking over their shoulder, looking over to the sideline and just waiting. They're waiting for Alvin Gentry or for someone to PR or anyone to just come out and say, "Hey, Harrison, like,
let me chat with you.
Come here real quick." And then they're done. And you don't see them again. They don't know. I'm sure they hear some whispers of, "Hey, man, it's really sounding like things are picking up," but you never know. And just from the human side of it, that's tough to get ready every single day, knowing either A, this could be the last time I do it with this group of guys, or, B, just being like, this could just be, this could be nothing. It could just be you being worried and nothing ends up happening. So it's just a really strange time.
Is it fair to say that this is it definitely so far, but are we going to look back at this and say, on the court and off the court, talking Monty McNair, everybody involved, these next 2 weeks, basically, most important stretch of the Kings
season for sure. This determines it. If they don't, whether they make a move or not definitely affects the outcome of the season, whether or not they could potentially be a second round team or maybe even further than that, or, like we've kind of been talking about these past couple weeks, as it seems as no deal has been made. I mean, feels like if nothing's going to change, things are probably going to stay the same, and they'll probably be a first-round exit at this rate. And as they're flirting with the play-in, I think there's also potential that they miss the playoffs completely, and not necessarily because they don't get a 7 through 10 seed, but because they put themselves into that kind of tournament where they could find themselves out of it. And I think anybody who's been paying attention to this Kings team throughout their bad times, not just tuned in for last year, something tells me that a little bit of this organization's DNA has to still be around, and you just can't trust the Kings in any sort of situation to get the job done. I'm not going to trust it, at least. I've seen too much.
You're saying on or off?
I'm saying, off the court could be interesting too. As we know, I'm not saying it's happening, but this ownership group, and more specifically Vivek, to be honest with you, has been a little bit pushy around trade time. So in the past. And so it wouldn't surprise me if that, and that's really, it definitely plays a factor into why I think a trade's going to happen. Is I do feel like there's got to be some, if I know this ownership group like I think I do, there's definitely some pressure to do something. Vivek has never really been one to just kind of sit around and wait. And I think if I had to just guess based off of the personalities, I would say that there's probably a good push and pull right now with Vivek and Monty. Monty's always been somebody who's a wait and see kind of guy, and I'll hop when I think the opportunity's right. Vivek has always been a now.
Yeah, and hopefully they fall somewhere in the middle, because I'm just thinking you can look at this Warrior game a couple different ways, because you have a team who is, what are they, the 11 seed right now? The last time I checked, they were 12.
They're definitely outside looking in.
They're definitely outside looking in. So if you are the Kings and you still feel like, hey, last season was a little bit different. The Warriors were still hanging around with that allure coming off a championship, and the Kings were kind of the upstart team. So losing to them is whatever. And I believe this is the last time they play the Warriors.
Yes, yeah.
They played them 17 times already. Yeah. If you lose to the Warriors, who are in the middle of a down, like, I don't think, even if the Warriors go on a little run here and they're feeling good and their spirits are high, the Warriors without a move are not going to do anything. Very similar to how I feel like their ceiling is lower than the Kings. I think they both need to make a move to raise their ceilings and get back in the championship conversation. But if you lose to the Warriors tonight, it's the Warriors.
Yeah.
And even if it's close,
sure,
we'll have a conversation. If it's not close, you think Vivek is going to be feeling it?
I think so. I think at that point it's like, because again, you're not coming home until the day before the deadline. And so at the very least, it's going to be Vivek saying, hey, or somebody, it doesn't have to be Vivek. It could be anybody, but it's probably going to be Vivek.
Yeah.
Saying like, hey, here we are on this road trip here. Just saying something better be in the works at the least. I need to be, and it sounded like the Siakam thing was legit. I don't know how legit in terms of it was really close, but I think the talks were really happening. It would surprise me if nothing is done on this road trip. I just think with how unspectacular this season has been, and the trajectory that things are on, and I mean, really with all the background stuff going on as well, like I do think that nothing cures all quite like winning, and getting the fan base and the media especially focused more on trades and, hey, here's this new guy, how's this going to work, and stopping worrying about all the things we've been worrying about the past week, the 4-game losing streak on top of that. It wouldn't surprise me if something's, especially if they lose today, let's pick up that pace a little.
Yeah, right. That's a great point, because you have between this drama, media PR drama, the fact that they're still trying to get back rolling. I mean, they just won one game since this 4-game losing streak.
Trae Youngless at home, Trae Youngless Hawks.
Yes. So team. if you lose tonight, I think a very easy way to say, okay, we need to change the vibe in here.
What would that be? 5 of 6?
Make that trade.
Yeah.
Make that trade. We got to get the conversation moving in a different direction.
And I think they don't play until Saturday after today as
They're getting a huge break.
It's crazy.
Huge breaks. So they didn't play. They went from Thursday, they played the Pacers. Then they didn't play again until Monday. And then Monday they played. Now they didn't play again until Thursday. And now here Thursday, now they're not playing again until Saturday, which is more traditional, the one day.
Sure.
But they're not, they're the back-to-back situation. They don't have that back-to-back until February 2nd, February 3rd.
I don't understand the NBA schedule at all.
Never.
Like, how do we have all of these days off in between games? And yet felt like there was a moment where, we had, I think, the Kings have already played 4 or 5 back-to-backs already. It's like, I don't get it.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, JD John Dickinson joins us to talk some Warriors. JD, I saw JD's number. We know he's got his roots here in Sacramento as he gives us the breakdown on all things Warriors and what to expect tonight when the Kings head to the Bay. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down to 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
That was another way. I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there, here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door. The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
The Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration is back Sunday, February 4th at Thunder Valley Casino. Meet and greet the class of 2024. Matt Barnes, James Donaldson, Leon Lee, and Jamie Whitmore. Don't miss Sacramento's best sports night of the year. Food served between 6 and 7 p.m. Live entertainment with comedian Dennis Gaxiola. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration Sunday night, February 4th. All info, go to SacSportsHOF.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Government Mule. Live in concert. 30 years strong tour. Friday, February 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Government Mule with special guest Lucas Nelson and POTR. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. New album, Peace Like a River, is in stores now. Don't miss Government Mule live.
At Elk Grove Kia, we get it. Life happens. We believe in second chances. Have repos, late payments, or faced bankruptcy? No problem. Our finance department is top-notch and ready to make miracles happen. No need to worry about money down. At Elk Grove Kia, you can drive away today with $0 out of pocket. Visit us at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com. Your second chance to drive the car of your dreams is just a visit away. Elk Grove Kia, where we turn obstacles into opportunities. Dare to drive differently.
Elk Grove Kia.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We are back and joined by good friend of the show, JD John Dickinson, on location out there in Santa Clara already. JD, insider and host for KNBR Warriors and Niners. JD, thanks for taking the time. You're doing double duty, sounds like today.
Yeah, doing double duty today and double duty yesterday. It's fun times here in the Bay and in Northern California. The Warriors had their game last night against the Hawks, 49ers practice yesterday and today, and then obviously the Warriors and Kings for the fourth and final time, at least in the regular season, tonight over at Chase Center. So yeah, busy times, fun times. Happy to be on with you both.
JD, before we get to the X's and O's of tonight, I mean, I watched the game last night in the tribute to Coach Decky. You were in the building. Can you just describe the feelings in there? I mean, how do you get ready to not just play a basketball game, to cover a basketball game, to cheer for a basketball game? Have you ever experienced anything like that? And where do you think the Warriors are emotionally, physically, and mentally right now?
I think they're still trying to figure out how to move forward. Mm-hmm. I thought as far as the last part, Steve Kerr addressed the fact in his post-game press conference that you can do everything that the Warriors have done to try and grieve and mourn and start to heal over the course of the last week since this happened. And you get to the point where you're about to play a game as they were last night, and then you pay tribute and you play the game, but you get through the game and the emotion of everything, and it doesn't change the fact that he's still gone. Mm-hmm. And he's still not a part of the Warrior family as he has been here for the last 3 years. And there's still a wife without a husband and a couple of kids without a father. And so when you start to think down that path, it's, this is going to be a long process as the Warriors continue to try and push through. The ceremony itself was just spectacular. I mean, I thought the Warriors did a first-class job, from Steve Kerr's comments and asking for a moment of ovation to the playing of the Serbian national anthem was tremendous. The placing of the jerseys on his spot on the bench, Mike Dunleavy Jr. presenting his widow with the flower, and it was wonderful, and to see the strength that she showed and the kids showed to be in the building, I thought was unbelievable. And it really made me think it kind of along the lines of what we were just saying. They got to this point where it felt like, okay, it was time to get back and that they were going to be able to get back. But going through that ceremony, it just it struck me like they have to play right now. And Draymond Green's in tears.
Yeah.
And Klay Thompson's in tears. And so they did it. I'm not sure how they did. I know there'd been the week-long buildup, and everybody goes through the grieving process differently. But it's definitely not a closed chapter by any means for this Warriors team.
JD, just a quick follow-up. I mean, this might seem extreme to say, but could this affect – we've seen, just like the Kings have been connected to a bunch of names, could this affect how the Warriors approach the trade deadline? I mean, there's just not a lot of time to do anything, right? I mean, this feels like, if you're saying obviously they're still affected by this, if you're Mike Dunleavy Jr., what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks from right now, basically, we're talking about the trade deadline, and yeah, I do think it impacts it. And look, the Warriors have to see what they can be as they are a little bit closer to whole with Draymond Green back over the course of the next couple of weeks. I mean, they're wildly disappointed in the first half, because of the two games that were postponed. They reached the halfway mark exactly last night. Everybody else had done it about a week ago, but they had a couple of the games postponed. So they're a 19-win team at the break. And I know people are at the midway point. And so I know people in Sacramento are not happy with the Kings, basically being a 46-win, projected team at the halfway mark, even though it was the same as they were last season. But people are really not happy with the Warriors being a couple of cuts, beyond that, and being 12th still in the West. So I think, as everyone continues to heal, it is going to have to get back to business as usual, and the Warriors are going to have to continue the evaluation mode that started prior to the tragic events and Coach Decky's passing a week ago on Wednesday. But I do think, considering the way the Warriors operate as with the connectivity between Steph and Clay and Draymond and Steve Kerr and even Mike Dunleavy Jr., who's been around for the last 5 years, and Joe Lacob, and the guys that helped them win, Wiggins and Looney, the guys that helped them win 2 years ago when they got back to the top of the mountain. I do think they treat their organization as a family more than I think most organizations do. And so I do think that there will be a factor in play here in the next 2 weeks as to, do you want to do something that maybe upsets the harmony that can't potentially be done in the summer? So I don't think it's a crazy question. I don't think there's a firm answer to it, but I do think it will be factored in, just knowing the way the Warriors operate as they look to try and improve here in the 2 weeks till the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, that's super interesting. And obviously it's a really unique situation. So who even knows? Yeah, I mean, it's just wild, and no easy transitioning off of that. But the story from the game yesterday, the actual on the floor game, was Jonathan Kuminga was incredible yesterday. It seems like he's really started to attack the inside a lot more. He was 11 of 11, I think, yesterday, 25 points. What's really clicked for him, it seems like these past, I think, 3 or so games, he's just been a completely different guy.
Yeah, it's 4 games now of 20 or more, and it's 21 games in double digits. I mean, it's been more up and down for Kuminga. He really didn't have a good, let's say, first maybe month and a half of the season, wildly inconsistent. And then it was December the 6th when he basically found himself out of the rotation in a game at Chase Center against Portland, and the Warriors got down to Portland double digits in the second half, and Steve Kerr went to Kuminga, and Kuminga basically was the best player on the floor for the last 16 minutes and helped him come back and win that game. And since then, he's been a lot better. He's been a cut even better than that over the last 4 games, going back through the last couple of weeks in varying roles. And he really got an opportunity when Draymond Green was suspended to step in and get a lot more run. As far as what's been different for him, he's just been much more aggressive in attacking the basket, much more decisive in not only his looking to attack to score, but get all the way to the rim. Earlier in the year, he would drive, but it would be kind of a half-hearted drive. He'd pull up from 10 feet out. He'd miss these wild kind of pull-up shots, or he would go to the basket and maybe look to get fouled, which is a quality trait of his. He does get fouled a lot, gets to the free throw line, but he wouldn't finish strong, so he wouldn't always get calls, and then he'd have some wild misses. He's just taking it right to the basket, but even when he's looking to move the ball, he's just doing it more decisively, more quickly in the flow of the offense. And when Kuminga's at his best, the shot chart looks exactly like it did last night. Maybe not 11 for 11, but he's had some 8 of 10s and some 11 of 14s, but it's all basically dunks, layups within 3 to 5 feet of the basket. I think he had 1 shot out of the paint last night. It was 10 for 10 in the paint and 1 for 10. I think he hit a 15-foot or a 14-foot wing jumper. And so last night is the kind of game, because Draymond was back and because he played on the floor with Wiggins and Draymond and Steph and Clay more, it's the kind of game that I think leads the Warriors down the path of, hey, maybe this guy is a piece that we can continue to hang on to and see what his ceiling is down the line, because he can also help this team this year. It's sort of twofold with Kuminga. Can he help this team in a role this year with the other champion core players to where you get to keep them around to see what the tantalizing future could be. So I thought it was, if not his best game of the season, it was one of them, but he's had quite a few of them over the last few weeks.
Talking to John Dickinson, JD, host and insider for KNBR, Warriors Overtime, and also covers the Niners. JD, one more before we get you out of here. We know that you talk and write Warriors, but you frequent Kings games, and you know a lot about the Kings, and you watch a lot of Kings basketball. From what you've seen, what do you think the Kings need to improve on? What is wrong with the Kings right now as they try to get out of that they get out of the 4-game losing streak? They beat the Hawks a couple nights ago, and now they try to stay on the right track and beat the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting. They do seem like a different version of the same. I mean, they've been much more, and they were Fox and Sabonis dependent last year, but they got a lot more from others. They got more. I mean, Malik Monk dependent this year. I mean, Monk was an important player for them, but they've been Monk dependent this year.
Yeah.
To my eye, and it's almost as if they've needed two of those three between Monk, Sabonis, and Fox. Not to put Monk in that tier of player, but in terms of impact, they've been much more dependent on those. They haven't gotten the seasons from Herter or Harrison Barnes even that they did last year. It seems like, the league, I think, takes them a little bit more seriously on a night in, night out basis. I think one of the things they did exceptionally well last year was just every game, and they had some clunkers, some bad losses, a couple here and there at home, but every game they played hard, and they made a lot of hay, I thought, in a league to where the selective competitiveness of the rest of the league, like they always showed up. And if a team wasn't ready to play, they were so talented that they were going to win on that night. And I think that's a big part of why they built that record up to where it was. I also think there's been a little bit of a cloak of they want to do, they're not happy with where they are because it's basically the same. And I think, they wanted to improve off of that. They've seen Minnesota and Oklahoma City make a jump from behind them to now at the top of the conference for the time being. But I also think they're caught a little bit in, they want to make a move and they want to get better, but the players that they are essentially using, the Davion Mitchells and the Harrison Barnes and the Kevin Herters, to dangle out there, like the rest of the league is like, you may not get the player that's going to significantly improve you for those players. I also get the sense that there's a little bit of a weight in the locker room and the vibes aren't quite what they were last year, where everybody just seems so content, so connected. And I think part of it, my take, this is no insider source, I'm not reporting this, but just my take from, covering some of their games and watching basically every single one of their games, because I watch the league, it feels like Harrison Barnes and Kevin Herter know that the organization is dangling them and that the fan base wants them gone because they want an upgrade. And then questions are being asked about underachievements in the media, which I think creates a little bit of a different vibe compared to where everything was so positive, so connected, so just, 15 guys all for one common goal, which was to break that long playoff drought. So I think they're caught a little bit in the year after the year where it's all fun and games. How do they get better? I'm not sure that they can get the caliber of player they need to sort of be that third star unless they're going to give up Keegan Murray. And you guys know they don't want to give up Keegan Murray.
No.
So, and that's fine. Like, that's another debate for another time.
Right.
They believe in Keegan Murray's ceiling and his future. Great. But then you have to choose if the margins, the additions or changes on the margins help you enough to basically take away from what has been a pretty well-oiled machine, even if the connectivity and the chemistry maybe isn't quite what it had been.
There you have it, JD. Yeah, it's Warriors, but you are NBA.
But I'd say enjoy it. I would say enjoy it. To the people in Sacramento, and I'm from Sacramento, like I would just say deep breath and enjoy another year of this team being good. Like they are back. I know it doesn't seem that way, but they are backing up what they did last year because they basically have a similar. Now 48 may not get you the 3 seed this year, but just, I would just say embrace it, enjoy it. Obviously talk about ways they can get better. It's all fun and games, but there seems to be a little too much angst when I'm in Sacramento over why they're not better? Why are they not making the leap, so to speak? And it's like, it'll come there. You don't want to make a panic move if you're the Kings right now, something that ends up setting you back when you worked so hard to get it to this level where you are a playoff, consistent playoff level team.
There you have it, JD, John Dickinson, Warriors Niners host insider for KNBR. JD, am I going to see you at the Niners game this weekend? I'm going to be there.
Absolutely. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see you at the Niner game.
I will see you then. Thank you so
Looking
much,
forward to
JD. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, JD.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, Sam Amick was on our airwaves and brought up a couple names in that trade generator. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, 4 teams battle to get to Vegas for Super Bowl 58. First, it's the AFC Championship, as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs want to get back to the Super Bowl as they travel to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the top seed Ravens. Then, the Detroit Lions head west to take on the NFC's number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers.
The AFC Championship at 12, the NFC Championship at 3:30 Sunday on Sactown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The red and gold are breathing a sigh of relief at the moment, narrowly escaping Green Bay 24-21 in the NFC Divisional Round. Quarterback Brock Purdy struggled for much of the contest, but delivered the come-from-behind drive to propel the 49ers to victory. San Francisco was more so concerned about the health wide receiver Deebo Samuel, dealing with a shoulder injury heading into championship weekend. The 49ers will need every man possible with a trip to the big game on the line, needing to get past Detroit first.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Big thanks to John Dickinson, KMDR Warriors and Niners host and insider, giving us a little breakdown of the Warriors situation. I mean, honestly, the idea that they may not make, I mean, it's just really just changed the complexity of their season.
It's tough.
Right.
It's
they got
really
2
tough.
weeks,
Yeah.
right? And at some point, and like we were listening to the broadcast last night, and it's, oh, well, this is just kind of unprecedented.
Yeah.
There's no rule, there's no book for this, right? So at some point, they have to say, okay, we have to get back to business.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just in a terrible situation because whenever they do get back, they either don't get back to business and that roster is not doing anything, or they do get back to business and it's somebody that has been really sad on the bench because their coach just passed away, getting shipped off to wherever. So,
and somebody walking into that situation as well without any of the context of like, whoa, like things are heavy here. I was not expecting this.
Yeah. So we will see what happens tonight. We have news getting back into some trades. Sam Amick was on our airwaves this morning and had some things to say about players the Kings may be interested in. Here it is.
Chatting, the names last night that were new a little bit for me in relation to the Kings were Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought those were kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, maybe not as sexy, so to speak, as a Kuzma who's going to bring you scoring and the offensive side of the ball. But this is a bad defensive team that's trying to get better. Those guys could help. So
Royce O'Neal.
Real specific, too.
Yeah. Royce O'Neal, both on the Nets, another team that may be heading towards a fire sale. Royce O'Neal in the 2023-2024 season, 7 points, averaging 7 points, 4.6 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 37% from the field. He is 6'6" out of Baylor. Okay, so he is 30 years old. I would imagine compared to Dorian Finney-Smith. So you have Dorian Finney-Smith averaging 8.9 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 1 assist, shooting 40% from the field. And he's 30 as well, out of University of Florida. Chris, is this, I'm looking at both of them, is this it's a curious case of the Nets having a lot of, when you look at the Nets, they just got a lot of similar guys.
Yeah, a lot of wings.
Yes.
Too many wings.
Too many wings.
Way too many wings. Definitely.
Too many drumsticks, not enough flats.
The thing is, if Brooklyn's selling, it's great. Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal are 2 really lower level options to go after, but I'm asking about Cam Johnson and I'm asking about Mikal Bridges first and foremost. And if we can't figure something out there, then I'm moving my way over to Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal. I think if you can get those guys at a price that isn't what apparently Alex Caruso's been asked for, that's kind of like how I'll talk about the Kyle Kuzma is just a better value than Jeremy Grant. Forget about the players or what you think one brings that the other doesn't. It just makes more sense because Kyle's getting paid 22. In the same sense, if Alex Caruso is being asked 2 first-round picks for his services, well, you might be able to ship off 2 first-round picks and get Royce O'Neal and Dorian Finney-Smith. I feel like those guys can still have a similar impact to that of what Caruso would give, and it would definitely be at a much reduced rate, and you might be able to get two instead of 1. So I would much prefer the Kings looking at those guys and maybe shipping off late protected first round pick in 2026 or something like that than just leveraging the few first round picks they have for just Alex Caruso, who might not be enough.
Yeah, it looks like the Miami Heat are interested in Dorian Finney-Smith as well. Look, this might be. I'll put it to you like this, Chris, we had a nice back and forth about showcase games, right? Well, the opposite of a showcase situation is what Dorian Finney-Smith is doing. There was a report a couple of days ago about the Nets maybe wanting a first-round pick or something, maybe even more than that for Dorian Finney-Smith. Dorian Finney-Smith, over his last 6 games, has 20 total points.
Oh.
He's shooting 12% on threes and 28% at the rim.
Nice.
Buy low. Buy low. Are you telling me this guy is a brick right now, and maybe that could help the Kings because there's no way, brother, I'm not giving you a first-round pick for this, and you know that. You know that, Nets. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a role player. Like, I don't think there's any illusion of him ever being more than exactly what he is. Like, he was in Dallas for, I don't even know how many years he stayed there, 7 seasons in Dallas. And he was always just a solid role player. He was a replaceable starter. But I think for this Kings team, funny enough, like if you throw him into a rotation with HB, like I think you could get something between the two of those guys that I think would be really productive forward minutes. And I think, it wouldn't be excellent. You wouldn't be getting the high-end ceiling, again, of guys like Jeremy Grant or Kyle Kuzma, but you could kind of patchwork good 48 minutes of forward play with those guys, and then, of course, Keegan as well. It's kind of a little bit like the Clippers' approach last year to center. They had Miles Plumlee, or I think they traded for Miles Plumlee in the second half of the year and had Zubac as well. And it's like neither of those two guys are great, but it's at least assuring that for 48 minutes, you're going to have competent play at that position. So I like Dorian Finney-Smith at the right price for sure. And hopefully there's no illusion that he can, come to Sacramento and unlock something that he's never had before.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, asking the question as the Kings take on the Warriors, is it weird to root for a rival? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
A handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Slayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
Government Mule. Live in concert. 30 years strong tour. Friday, February 16th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Government Mule with special guest Lucas Nelson and POTR. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. New album, Peace Like a River, is in stores now. Don't miss Government Mule live.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Warriors come out to play.
Or don't.
Or don't. So the Kings can get a W. We're talking rivals here and rivalries. And where were you at with the Kings?
Is it a
Warriors?
rivalry?
Is it a rivalry?
Yeah, why not? It's a modern day rivalry. I feel like, the deep rooted history rivalry, like there's a handful of them, but I feel like nowadays, like, last year, like I said, with the rivalry week for the Warriors last year was them against the Grizzlies. And, they have one big playoff series with the Kings. And now all of a sudden Kings Warriors is the biggest rivalry. So it feels like nowadays it's so like it's just a shorter period of time to build. Like we're calling Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes a rivalry, and I think it's been 3 years, which I guess is around the time where it's okay. But yeah, it is. It's a rivalry, I guess, of sorts. It's just not your traditional rivalry.
So I'm on, I'm looking up stuff where I'm taking in sports media, taking in a lot of different takes, and I see one that basically says, it's a Niner person, and it basically says, y'all don't understand. Brock Purdy has teams rooting for their rivals. That's what they said, right? And this Niner fan, it got a lot of great likes, of course, from Niner fans. Yeah, it's us against the
crazy
interaction, crazy impressions going insane. Yeah, that's right. It's us against the world. This has never happened.
Remember
the map? Nobody wants us to win, right? Just a couple zip codes. That's it. Even though the Niners have one of the biggest fan bases and they've been traveling the best throughout the whole course of the season.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's
no. They don't want you to believe.
Well,
at the same time, yes, that's
but
true.
Also that as
but
well.
Also, they have no fans.
So they're claiming that this is because of Brock Purdy, and I will say that the Brock Purdy situation is incredibly unique. I don't know that we've ever seen a situation. Tom Brady is similar. Right, because he came in, he was a late draft pick, and the Patriots were rolling. So Tom Brady might be the only situation similar to Brock. Off the top of my head, somebody can remind me. You can call in 916-339-1140, Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. And when you are in a unique situation, it's polarizing. And when that situation is polarizing, you pick other sides. We read off Quincy Avery's tweet yesterday. That was just a very realistic post about Brock Purdy, right? Some Niner fans still didn't like it. No, he's mentally elite, and his elusiveness is elite. It's just nothing is good enough, even when you have a normal post, right? So now Niner fans are saying that people hate Brock Purdy so much, and I guess Brock Purdy and the Niners, that Packer fans are rooting for the Lions.
Right.
Is it crazy for me to say that even with the Packers fans rooting for the Lions, that's not that random? Because you just lost to the Niners. Niner fans are kind of, they're very talkative these days. I just don't think it's that crazy. I'll put it to you in a different perspective.
Lions are also a tough one because the Lions, they haven't hurt anybody, right?
No, and it's a great story,
no ill will.
Right? But let Niner fans tell it. This has never happened before, right? I would venture to say the similar situation with the Red Sox and the Yankees. Now, obviously, this is more specific, but I would guess that when the Red Sox were facing off, or when the Yankees were facing off against the Astros, even Red Sox fans wanted the Yankees to win, right? Now, that's a specific situation. I got another one for you. Last season, I was on the other side. I was out there in the Bay. I see you on the text line. To Alan Mita, hates guys who hustle. No, I don't, 510. You know I don't. I hate guys who fake hustle. Yeah. Okay? We'll talk. We already talked about that. So out there in the Bay, Chris, I was flabbergasted last season when the Kings lost to the Warriors. And then after that, the Warriors took on the Lakers.
Yeah.
And Kings fans wanted the Lakers to win over the Warriors.
Is that what y'all said?
That was incredible.
Is that what y'all said?
That's what I saw. That's what I saw. That's what I saw, Chris.
I saw a lot of confliction. I don't know if anyone ever ended up falling on either side of the rope on that one.
But my point is because it was more recent.
Sure.
I think if you flip that and LeBron has the 50 burger and the Lakers beat the Kings at home and then they go on to play the Warriors, I think that percentage, whatever it was.
Davis stomped on one of our players'
yes,
chest.
Agreed. And then after that, it would be, okay, now we would rather the Warriors win. And I think that's more of what we're seeing. I know, like I said, I think some of it is Brock Purdy and the fact that Brock Purdy is a polarizing story, one of the most polarizing story in the NFL. this season. Ever since he stepped, because I think even last season people didn't think it would continue, and then it did. So for Packer fans to root for the Lions to win, I don't think it's all on Brock. I think it's a combination of a lot of different things.
For sure. Yeah, it's an enemy is my friend kind of thing.
Yes.
And again, like, Lions are harmless. It might be a little bit tougher if it were, say, the Vikings against the Niners, because then Packer fans are really, or the Bears. I mean, either one of those teams is just a bigger rival. So it's tough. I understand why. You have to end up picking a side. Trust me, you got to pick at least one or the other. But it's also, you could argue, like, it could be some new fandom as well. Like, this could be a new era of fans where, even 20 years ago in the early 2000s, it might have been kind of against fan etiquette. It's like, no, I don't care. The Lions are our rivals. I'm not going to root for the Niners, but I'm also not going to root for the Lions. So it kind of feels like, I don't know, a bit of something. I understand why. Again, I understand why Packers fans would pick the Lions over the Niners, especially with the Niners being the team that eliminated them. But it's I don't know. It's because it just kind of feels like the new age of fandom too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it just depends. And there's just levels of hate, to your point. Giants, Dodgers, that is real hate.
Yeah. Like, there's no world in which either Dodger fans are rooting for Giants or Giants are rooting for Dodgers.
No,
it doesn't matter if the Dodgers are playing the Astros or the Yankees.
Exactly. If the Giants most recently lost to the Cubs and it was a really tough series and there was some chippiness and maybe a fake brawl, something like that, just bad blood. And then the Cubs go on to say
we're actually a big market.
Yes, exactly. We fly the W. The Cubs go on to face the Dodgers. Giants fans still want the Cubs to win.
Absolutely.
There's just different levels.
Yes, absolutely.
But, in this situation, everybody is saying that people hate Brock Purdy and hate the Niners. I do think that's part of it.
I was going to say, do you truly think, like, what if you had to give Alan Stiles this map of what you think the actual Niners versus Lions fandom
in the
rooting
US
interest in the US, what would you say? I mean, you don't have to actually give me the states or whatever, or 48 of 50 or anything like that, but do you feel like it's pretty much, for the most part, Niner fans or people who root for the Niners, whether it be locally or whatever, against quite literally everybody else? Or do you think it's a little bit more like, I mean, I'm a pretty neutral observer in this thing. Like,
I think the Midwest is probably pulling for the Niners.
But here's my thing. The Niners, they travel the best. And all of those fans are not traveling from California. So we already know they have a strong fan base. So that's why I know that this whole thing is just Niner fans wanting to be that underdog or wanting to be hated. Yeah. Right? Because they're not the underdog. I do
feel like there is an element of Lions being the America's team,
though. No, I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. But that's more about the Lions being America's team versus I don't want the Niners to win.
I think it could be a healthy combination of both, but I do think it leans more so towards Lions love and the story that would be. And also, I mean, who doesn't love to see? I mean, we build these things up to see you crash down.
Yeah.
Come on, it would be kind of from a national perspective, not locally at all, but to see the Niners have this big, amazing season and prop up their quarterback that everyone's been denying all year, for them to fall flat on their face right before getting to the dance, like, just you gotta think about, you could already see Stephen A cooking up some things for Monday.
I agree. The only way you can really do this and see if there's true hate for the Niners is if the Cowboys or Eagles took care of business.
Right.
If one of them, and we can just stick with one of them and say the Cowboys, right?
Cowboys is
if the Cowboys took care of business and neutral people were rooting for the Cowboys
that would
over the Niners, then I'd say, okay, there's real deal hate. But you really can't guess or figure it out with the Lions because the Lions have a very specific situation. All right, get into a break. When we get back, we are looking at the All-Star starters that will get released later today. We will pick ours. Also, I have a story that you're not going to want to miss. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown!
on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and R.C. Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way.
Hey, it's Carmichael Day for my friends at Fire Wings talking about Wings Day Wednesday. That's right, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. 3-flavor lineup includes 7 classic, 7 dry rub, and 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to watch and enjoy sports with friends. 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Save time. Order online for pickup or delivery. Just go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you. Order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
This weekend is championship weekend on Sactown Sports as Baltimore plays Kansas City at noon on Sunday and San Francisco takes on Detroit at 3:30. Championship weekend. Brought to you by Elk Grove Kia and R.C. Willey Home Furnishings. Your home, your way.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Nate Littlefield with an injury report on both sides for the Niners-Lions. Nate, what you got for us?
I got pretty much all good news for Niners fans. Okay. I mean, not for Detroit fans or, I'm not rooting for injuries or anything here, but here's what we got. I don't want to get misconstrued. End up like our guy Chewy. But the Lions starting center, Frank Ragnow, and left guard Jonah Jackson. Ragnow is a beast, by the way. Have yet to practice this week for Detroit. So that's not a good sign. Thursday is usually the last day, the go-ahead day before like a walkthrough on Friday. And then it's Debo weather. It's Debo weather because Debo did practice today in a limited way. But yesterday, I don't know if it was mentioned. I was on a different show. So, but Debo was practicing off to the side by himself. So he was there, but today he's there limited. I don't know if he was wearing the black jersey, the no-touch jersey, non-contact jersey, or red, whatever it is. But Debo's looking to be on track, and 2 starting linemen, good linemen, are not for Detroit.
It is a really compelling situation because if the Niners go out and just beat the brakes off the Lions, Brock haters, they'll find a way because they'll just go back to the weapons. But part of the reason this has been so contentious this last week is because Brock put up a performance that is perfect for these debate shows and for these radio shows and everything. You stunk all game and had one really good. It was the perfect thing. If he had balled out the whole time.
He fed both sides.
Right. He fed both sides. And that's why this thing continues. So thank you for that update, Nate. All right. Before we continue on here, we have some numbers for the Kings. The trade interest. We also are going to pick our all-stars so far. I got to get this off my chest. And we had a special edition of Wet Blanket Wednesday yesterday, but technically this happened on Wednesday. So I'm going to carry it over to today. And this is what happened. So basically, I'm getting my health insurance taken care of, or life insurance taken care of. And because we have the little one, they ask, hey, you guys can come in separately, just go. It's a doctor's appointment. They take your vital, all that stuff, right? So just not thinking, I say, okay, I'm going to, you guys can just come here. Yeah, that'd be great. You just come here and.
Super convenient.
Yeah, super. And it was convenient, right? Dude walks in, right? He opens the door, he knocks in. Super vert, okay? Maybe a cool 6'3" burly guy.
Yeah, that's super vert is 6'3"?
I would say so. Okay. And I had
normal.
So I wasn't prepared.
Does burly mean tattoos?
No, he was not skinny.
Gotcha.
He was not yoked, but he was not skinny. He looked like a lineman to me.
Okay.
Right?
Like those dudes at T-Mobile who it's like, why are you working at T-Mobile?
Yes, he could be a bouncer. I'll put it to you like that.
Survivor.
He could easily be a bouncer. So he walks in, he's got boots on, so he's getting a little bit of
standing on business.
Yeah, he's standing on business, and I just
ready to.
I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared.
Now he's in your house.
Now he's in my house.
He's in your house.
Now he's already in my house.
He came to you.
Exactly. So he comes in, and I know what you got to go through. But once you get to a certain age, I feel like when I've gone to the doctor, they don't really make you take your shoes off all the time. It depends what's going on. So I'm just here, no shoes on, not really prepared. And like I said, I haven't been in these streets for a very long time. And my wife, we just have an understanding of what my height is. She doesn't question me. We just have an understanding of what my height is, right? We just have an understanding. We have an understanding.
Dude.
We have an understanding, right? We just don't ask questions. You don't ask, right? Because we're the same height. We're the same height. So here you go.
Oh,
so we get ready. We
this is crazy.
This guy sets down. He sets stuff up. I'm in a great mood. Me and Chris had an outstanding show yesterday. People are still watching the video. This guy's in my house. So I'm getting ready. I'm messing around on my computer. I'm like, okay, you want to do the blood first, whatever. He's like, okay, we're gonna do height and weight. You want to go first? I go, sure. And then I start realizing, I don't have shoes on, right? My wife is right there. I'm in a compromising position. No Dr. Scholl's can save me now. And I get up against the wall, and this man says it out loud. And last time I checked, that's not where it was.
Right.
And I'm
Where's the HIPAA laws here?
He did not round up. He did not round up. And it's the first time. Hold on. This is the first time that this size has been said out loud to my wife, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness.
Did she hit you with the Kevin Hart? She's
just pretending to work, and he says it out loud. He says it out loud. Then she goes, and he says nothing. He says no. He doesn't say it because I'm thinking maybe it's something to remember, right? So he's going to say hers out loud so we can know because we've always said we're the same size. He doesn't say hers out loud. So the whole time where he's taking our blood pressure, everything like that, I'm literally trying to slyly look and see her page to see what hers said, and I'm thinking, brother, why would you know what it is? Why would you say this out loud? He tried to play me and disrespect me in my own house with my daughter and my wife and my 2 cats. This is my house.
Not in front of the cats.
Not in front of both cats. I wanted to kick him out, man. He did it on purpose.
Can't kick him out?
The way he said it was so smug. The way he said it was so smug. Okay, fine.
He said,
5'6". I'm thinking... Yeah. And you didn't say it. Okay, it wasn't that.
Sorry.
It wasn't that. That's not funny, Kyle. Now Kyle's back there. I had to get it off my chest, man. It was wild. I was not prepared for that.
Are you more comfortable saying your height or weight?
On where?
Like if your life depended on it right now, would you rather tell me on air your height or your weight?
I don't know.
Really?
I mean, I would probably say height.
Some sort of HR
I would say
violation.
height because you wouldn't know, right? Like I said, I was caught up, and I think what it is because he was tall, the angle was bad, so he couldn't really see what I actually was.
He was looking down, so he probably saw the height that
and he had on boots too. I should have been like, take off your boots. Don't measure me without taking off your boots.
I feel like I'm in delirious right now looking at you in that jacket.
Come on, man.
You're standing up. You're killing it.
I had to say this, man.
I didn't like that he was in your house disrespecting you.
That was the last time I will do it.
Not cool.
You knew he did not have to say it out loud.
He definitely did not.
In front of my wife?
Yeah, that's crazy.
In front of my wife is crazy.
In front of the cats.
In front of the cats. In front of my daughter.
Your daughter.
My daughter didn't even want to be held by me the rest of the day.
No. She wasn't high enough off the ground.
She wasn't. She said, "Daddy, I'm on your shoulder. I still can't see anything." This is crazy.
This is crazy.
Got to get to a break.
So disrespectful.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we got prop talk and dog segments. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
1 year ago, the San Francisco 49ers fell a game short of their goal to get to the Super Bowl. Now they are back in the NFC title game and hosting the Detroit Lions.
San Francisco is 1 win away from a trip to Las Vegas and a chance at the Lombardi Trophy. Don't miss a moment. Catch every play of the NFC Championship game, Sunday at 3:30 here on your home of the San Francisco 49ers, Sactown Sports.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. Plus line dancing, a mechanical bull, and Sacramento's best food trucks. 2-day general admission tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more info, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
I tried to open up. I tried to keep it real on these airwaves. And the Sac Chat, I'm getting cooked.
Flambéed.
I am getting cooked, fried, and grilled. And Nate says he loves it. Nate says he loves it. Chris Watkins. Let's do some prop talk, and then we got our dog segment. Okay. Do you have a prop? I know I got one ready to go.
Go ahead. You guys go ahead.
So I'm coming off a heater, because I had Malik 5.5 assists, and we're keeping track here. I think I'm 2-1.
I'm coming off one too.
You are
offensive rebounds, HB.
Chris needs to get back on the winning side of things, and this is I can't even focus now. People are saying I bet Stiles like short ribs. Favorite dessert, hilarious. Strawberry shortcake. This is crazy.
There's a lot of short foods. Huh.
I hope it doesn't take long to cook.
Broccolini.
I love broccolini. I actually do love broccolini. A mid-rock cooked like a short stack of pancakes. We're done here. Dogs. All right, you've had enough. All right. I will not stand for that foods.
One. Sorry. Baby carrots.
No, that's too much. You were eating baby carrots earlier, Nick.
Yeah, gotta keep the vision up.
Here I go.
Forgot about that.
At first this morning, I thought I was gonna rock with Nate had a super pick, which was the little when they give you a little bit of extra cheese.
Well, you have to take the over.
Yes, obviously. And that was De'Aaron 29.5. I told Nate to take it because I think De'Aaron's gonna go crazy today. Rivalry game, Steph, he likes that. The more I think about it, I'm just a little worried about that because basically if you don't go off, if you don't set the tone in the first quarter, it's going to be pretty tough. Now, normally I think De'Aaron is at about 26.5 or 27.5. I'd probably stay away. I'm going to stay away from that, not to steer anybody the other direction. Because of that, lock this Keegan Murray over 15.5. That's a lock.
Wow.
That's a lock.
16 points.
15.5, 16 points. That's a lock.
That's a lot.
I'm going to piggyback off your Keegan.
For Keegan?
It's not a guarantee.
I'm saying they're going to get the ball out of De'Aaron's hands.
Okay.
Well, but then what's yours?
No, I don't have one yet. I'm still looking.
I'm going to ride off on this
still looking.
Keegan Murray train, and they got him at half a dunk. So all or nothing again. I'm sticking on this all or nothing train.
I like that.
Last game we did offensive rebounds for HB. He had 2, which was crazy. Keegan at half a dunk. I am taking Keegan gets a dunk.
No, I like that.
One.
I like
one
that.
Dunk. I don't know exactly how you quantify the stat of a dunk. It just got to go hands directly into basket.
Yeah, Keegan does push the line a little bit.
By the way, did you see that play yesterday, Derrick Jones Jr.? That was crazy. Yeah. He threw the ball in, but he was not that close to the hoop. Now, I don't think, to answer Nate's question, would that have been a dunk? His hand didn't touch the rim.
Yeah.
But he was above the rim.
Yeah, that one's definitely a fine line. I don't know. Probably not, because you do have to draw a line at some point and say a dunk is technically hands on the rim.
I think you have to.
You got to place it into the bucket.
All right, Nate's taking the dunks. That was Chris's demise last time, but Nate's going half a dunk. So one dunk for Keegan Murray. I'm going over 15.5, 16 points for Keegan Murray.
Can I say the couple that I'm just eyeing right now and I haven't fully locked my target in yet? So I'm seeing Kevin Huerter 2.5 threes. It's just Kevin's been really good made threes. He had 6 against Milwaukee, 2 against Phoenix, 7 against Indiana, and then 2 the other day against against Atlanta. He had 2 threes. Against Indiana, he had 7. So he's been up and down. We know he's playing better, Kevin, but it's a tough one. In the spirit of Nate doing the all or nothing, I see HB at 0.5 turnovers. It's an interesting one because he just doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot.
I'm staying away from that one.
Yeah, I'm staying away. That one's scary.
You made me want to do it.
I like the Kayvon more than that one. Okay. I like the 2.5 made threes.
And then the other one I'm looking at is simply just because Sabonis has been on another level, and maybe he won't be as aggressive scoring against the Warriors like we've seen in the past. 8.5 assists. And as we know, Sabonis has been putting up crazy triple-doubles left and right. 15 assists against Milwaukee, 11 against Phoenix, 10 against Indiana. He only had 6 the other day against Atlanta. Set at 8.5.
Assists. I like that. I would take probably Domas's rebounds. Kevon Looney is not – he's not it right now.
But he just shuts down Domas. That's what scares me.
But he shuts down a lot of people last season. It just looked bad because that was the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely looked bad.
He doesn't even play that. He hasn't even been playing that much.
So what's your move then,
Chris?
Go with that Domas one.
I'm gonna go with the Domas 8.5 assists.
Yeah.
Over. Yeah, over.
Okay. We got a little extra time here, and I know we got dog segment, but can we do a couple Warriors real quick? Can I just list a couple for you? I just want to.
Hey, you better watch out. Sack chat might kill you.
Yeah.
well, I deserve it then. Steph at 27.5. You like the over or under on that?
It's really hard to go.
Yeah, that one's a great line because that is.
And
tough.
I believe he didn't get that last night.
Right.
So I would venture to say he will get that tonight.
Okay. So you think over?
Yeah.
Both thinking that?
I think so. I think on the morning show I said he'd have 34. So
Okay.
I wouldn't feel great about it. It's just tough to bet anyone, or not, I guess we're not betting, but to say that anyone is going to do over 20, like even De'Aaron, like, right? We've been talking
You
about
just got to get going
26
quick.
and a half. It's like you're banking on them having a great game, or even just a really good game, and there's not much margin for error. So it's tough with anybody, even Steph.
This one is really hard for me personally, just because I straight up just don't know. Wiggins 2.5 rebounds.
It's kind of like
he's
AC,
coming off the bench.
Yeah.
It feels safe, but then also there's a reason it's there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because he was a rebounding monster the year they won, but like I said,
way too deep of a number if you want.
Wiggins is a guy I stay away from. Anybody that I don't trust your motor, I stay away from.
Kings have the best defensive rebounding percentage in the NBA. So that means like all available defensive rebounds, the Kings grab a good majority of them. I think it's like 73%. So if you're betting anybody to like have a big rebounding night, probably going to have to be on the offensive end.
I would say that somebody like the chances, like me and Chris talked about, or Chris and I talked about, the chances of Kuminga, he hasn't missed a shot in 11 shots. I would go under on Kuminga.
Okay, last one here then real quick, and this is De'Aaron Fox. So going back to the Kings, don't feel like you have to answer this one, but made free throws at 5.
I'm
not
touching
under,
that.
that's for sure.
I'm
never going
Yeah,
over.
I'm not touching. Yeah.
But if I were to do it, I'd go under simply because I don't know how often he's going to get to the free throw line.
And it's made 5. It's not.
Yeah.
You think about it, if he only goes 3 times.
Right.
Yeah. So that's
you can only miss one.
Right.
Lock it.
If you go 7, then
lock.
We need a lock sound, like a
yeah.
Get
like
on
a
it.
Vault closing.
Get on it.
I know he's telling us.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll
we
send
need
you
one.
I'll send you
Someone
one.
should
No,
go
I can find
look for one.
There you go. All right, dog segment. And I guess at this point we can parlay our dogs with our picks, if you will, because I said Keegan over 15.5. Keegan is my dog of the game.
Okay.
You guys heard I wanted to go Kevin. I'm also thinking about HB. You know, HB, he's got a history with this Warriors team, obviously, and this could be the last time, possibly, in a Kings uniform he plays against the Warriors. You know what? Forget it. Yeah, I'll pick HB.
Back-to-back.
Back-to-back big games for HB. You talked about how, having big games could raise your trade value. I don't believe in it, but, why not? Let's let it fly. HB has a big night against the Warriors and says, I've seen this movie before. Throws it back in Draymond's face.
Wait, so Wiggins is coming off the bench with Chris Paul out?
He was coming off the bench either way.
Okay.
They've been starting Saric and Looney.
Yes.
Forward and center.
Interesting, because Moody's
or Kuminga.
Wiggins, yeah, Kuminga, I think, came off the bench.
Right. They don't. They're all over.
They're all over.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know their lineup set, but I do see the over under at 243, so high scoring game, which I think is fair. But I'm gonna go with. Last time I went with Fox, didn't work out amazingly. It was fine, but I'm gonna go another easy pick. Well, actually, this might be a little controversial. I'm gonna go Sabonis against Looney because you gave me a little confidence in him with
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. I want to see him take it to him down there a little bit, and get those rebounds, those defensive rebounds. I want to see not the Warriors getting several offensive rebounds like they did in the playoffs. That needs to be prevented. So just Domas. Not even need to be a high scoring game. Just I want to see
Doggedness.
rebounds. I want to see the rebounds. Yeah.
There you go. From the 209, De'Aaron Fox is going to show up with Steph's shoes on. From the 916, Davion. They must have been listening to the morning show because that's what Jason Ross had. Davion going to show out and lock down the guards for the Warriors. Here we go on the Sack Chat. Manny Too Legit. Fox is my dog. He's going for a 40-piece. Dwayne Baker. Domas is my dog tonight. You also have Martin saying that HB will have another big night. Farewell and goodbye in this Kings and Warriors game. There you go. There you go. Will the Kings be able to get it done? We sure hope so. All right, get into a break. When we get back, crosstalk with the Drive Guys. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, 4 teams battle to get to Vegas for Super Bowl 58. First, it's the AFC Championship, as Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs want to get back to the Super Bowl as they travel to Baltimore to face Lamar Jackson and the top seed Ravens. Then, the Detroit Lions head west to take on the NFC's number 1 seed San Francisco 49ers.
The AFC Championship at 12, the NFC Championship at 3:30 Sunday on Sactown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. It's a new year. So, Chad, the big question, what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler's Start Something New sales event?
We're starting the year off with even more savings. Right now, you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 2500 heavy-duty trucks with no payments for 90 days. That means you can get the new personal or company truck you've been needing and not make a payment for 3 months.
But why choose Hoblet versus all the other guys?
Because we not only have the best savings, we have the best selection of the hard-to-find heavy-duty trucks you need. Plus, when you come to Hoblet, you get the big city savings with the small town family feel. There's a reason why so many of our customers buy from us over and over again.
Aha! See their full inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 98.34 factory rebates and 51.66 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 Case equipment bonus cash. Must have purchased qualifying new equipment from Case dealer. No payments for 90 days through Chrysler Capital on approved credit. 10th is net savings. See dealer for details.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We are joined by one half of the Drive guys, Whitey Gleason, as we finish up our show. Whitey, I had something for you, and well, thanks. We've heard this, or I've heard this in different ways, but this one is pretty good. And we know right now the Lions are America's darling, America's sweetheart, because they haven't been here in so long and all this stuff. So this is, my buddy sent this to me. Detroit Lions fans want the Lions to sign the greatest running back ever, Barry Sanders, to a one-day contract. If the Lions make it to their first Super Bowl and a chance, it would give them a chance, or give him a chance to get a ring. He is 55 years old, and would he play a down in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I
don't think he has to play. He just would have to sign the contract.
Who has a better chance of not getting destroyed on the field? Barry Sanders or Jerry Rice? If they had to play one play.
Well, Jerry, because of his position.
Yeah,
that's
Jerry, because he'll stand out there. They'll have a
Let's say they
play.
have to throw it to Jerry.
Still, I mean, it's a running back.
They're throwing Jerry a screen, and then they're handing off to Barry. Yeah. Who gets crushed harder?
It's still Barry. What do you think about that, Whitey?
I don't know.
You don't have to actually
well-intentioned, but really stupid.
But we have this conversation.
Give him a ring. If you win, give him a ring.
Right. It's very similar to
that. Yeah. Why does he have to sign the one-day contract?
We could do this with the Kings, right? And we could do this with the Sixers. If the Sixers won one, do you give Allen Iverson one? I think that's why a lot of these guys have these random roles within the organization, to where if it does happen, you can convince yourself that they would get some because they're part of the organization.
It kind of becomes the question, though, of like, player gets, remember Anderson Varejao when he was on the Cavs, got cut, and then got signed by the Warriors. But it's like, if the Cavs would have won, they would have beat you to get. It's more just like do you want a ring if you didn't earn it? Like, yeah, it's nice to be given a ring to say you have a ring, and Shaq can't make fun of you anymore because you have a ring. But, like, the point of looking at the ring is it's like meant to be symbolic of like, oh my God, like,
Shaq's
what a
still
season
going to make
it was.
fun of you.
He's definitely still. He's probably going to make fun of you more.
That's a great question.
It's like,
because that goes to the whole.
You just want a ring for the sake of getting.
Are all rings the same?
No.
But
a lot of
is a ring.
broadcasters get rings, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But a broadcaster.
Did we get one?
No.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, it depends what's. I mean,
I might get one.
Okay.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll ask about you.
I'm sure some broadcasters that get them. I'm sure that's really cool, but it's a far cry from I was on the field and helped us win.
Yeah, but broadcaster versus.
What's the point here?
Because the broadcaster never put on a jersey. Right. I would argue that Barry Sanders did.
Yeah, like 25 years ago.
But he did. No, I think the Allen Iverson conversation is probably a better one.
But I think it's still
involved.
It's just like, why, what does he want the ring for, though? He's just like, I could sell this. This is great.
Well, he's not Terrell Pryor.
I didn't
he's not going to
earn
sell
this.
stuff.
Like, I didn't.
Yeah.
Probably will. I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know what he would do. He'd be like, thanks, but like I'm not gonna wear this around. Like it's almost more embarrassing in a way to be like, hey, is that yours? I don't remember. I thought you guys lost to the Lakers. No, we did. I got this because Joel. I don't know if you saw
all
Joel
these guys walking around who never played or got garbage time.
It's like
or
wearing
whatever.
fake Jordans.
But they get announced as NBA champions and Super Bowl champions.
I don't think Barry Sanders would
he
get
wouldn't,
known
though.
as
He wouldn't,
Super Bowl champion. Barry
That's
Sanders.
a different situation.
Yeah, even if in the unlikely event that Allen Iverson got this ring and he loved it, it's like, oh, this is so great. He still didn't earn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good for him as long as he's happy.
But half the guys on the roster don't own it. There's only about an 8-person rotation.
Well, you can say, hey, I sharpened that iron during practice,
Yeah.
And AI, hey, Joel Embiid makes Tyrese Maxey crosses over.
Every Kyrie Irving ring has to be given to
No,
AI
AI trains with Tyrese Maxey over the summer. Tyrese crosses over and over Jamal Murray and just drains it to win the NBA Finals. Hey, AI, never would have done it.
Some breaking news, Al?
Yeah,
sure.
The Hawks have a coach.
There you
Wow.
go.
Wow. Raheem Morris being hired by the Falcons, the Rams defensive.
Falcons, not the Hawks. Same thing.
No, Nate said the Hawks.
Oh, by
You're
the
good, you're
Falcons,
good.
Rams defensive coordinator for the last 2 years. Now, we were seeing the breakdown where
But I thought Bill Belichick was supposed to go to Atlanta. I was told he was either Atlanta or the Chargers.
Well, it's neither.
Where
now.
is he going? Where is he going then?
It's neither now.
It's Washington's left, and so is
Sick job.
It's on to Cincinnati.
Washington and Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, dude, don't go to Seattle, please.
Belichick to Seattle.
From Pete Carroll to
that's
Bill
not gonna happen.
Belichick.
Pete Carroll's
They got
not gonna
younger
work.
at the
Does
position.
that work? Am I being too disrespectful to Bill Belichick? Would that worry Niners fans if Bill Belichick went to Seattle?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I can't speak for Nate.
That's not going to work, though. They're not going to get rid of this. I mean, they're a year apart, right?
Dude,
I think if you're a Niners fan,
he's going to be so mad, Pete Carroll, at the Seahawks if they did that.
It's not going to happen.
Oh, I'm too old, huh?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
actually.
I'm too old.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think the Niners, obviously, they got bigger fish to fry with the Lions this weekend, but really just took a deep breath just seeing the Chargers get Harbaugh. Right, saying in the AFC, hey, we wouldn't, if he does turn this thing around, we won't have to see him for a very long time. And I don't know if there's anybody left. I don't think Vrabel would scare the Niners going to Seattle. I don't think.
I thought Vic Fangio might end up going to the Chargers with Harbaugh because he used to work with Harbaugh. But
Right.
it looks
I
like
said
he is going to
Eagles,
the
right?
Eagles. Yeah. Now that scares
What
me.
about Matt
'cause
Patricia? He's doing so
well.
well.
I think Fangio's a great DC, and him going to the Eagles, that scares me more than, say, Belichick going to the Seahawks.
Well, they got to fix that offense too. The Eagles.
Yes, one thing at a time. Yeah, absolutely,
exactly. I saw Sirianni got asked, "Hey, with the bringing in the DC, what is?" Did you see that? It was basically somebody asked, "What is it that you do here?" Yeah, they did. And Sirianni said, "Well, I'm not the head coach of the defense, and I'm not the head coach of the offense. I'm the head coach of the football team. Sometimes I'll sit in with the defense, but it just goes to show. I mean, these rah guys, you get questioned a lot quicker if you are seen as a rah guy. If you are I'm the offensive dude and I call the plays, people may ask, hey, do you have too much control? Right, as we've asked with Shanahan before. And if you don't have any of the control, they say, well, what is it that you do? Basically, they're people managers. The Sirianni is a people manager, and Dan Campbell is a people manager, right? That's not disrespectful, but
And a kneecap biter.
And that's why a lot of Raiders fans, they said, well, sure, Antonio Pierce has the swag and everything else, but what about the X's and O's? And he's going to be a version of a people manager. You just have to have the right guys around you.
I'll just never forget when Sirianni got hired and somebody said, and they talked to a source who was a coach or somebody, and they said, he's kind of smart, not super smart, but kind of smart. And I laughed at that at the time. And in the years since, I feel like, yeah, that's
pretty accurate.
Yeah,
that's pretty accurate. All right, got to get out of here. Drive Guys up next, getting you ready for Kings Warriors. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Nate Littlefield, our guy. Thank you to John Dickinson as well for joining us. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the Warriors beam.
For
the final time in the regular season, the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors collide.